boy Smitty, man, how you going, bro?
Man.
My boy Smitty, man, how you going, bro?
Man, hey, listen. How can I not be going well after the draft?
The enemy's clash. It's a thin line between love and hate. Casualties will be made. Mistakes will be overlooked. But today, training camp? What's going down, baby? Eagles, Cowboys, in the same room. But guess what? We're gonna keep it cordial, man. We're gonna keep it lovely. But enemies always go up. For the best show on YouTube. Yo, welcome to another episode of When Enemies Clash, episode 13. We have some special guests in the building, man. Well, we're going to go ladies first. So, Lethal, how are you doing today, man?
Good. I got back from training camp, back to my hotel like an hour ago, so I'm feeling good. Saw some good things. Saw some not so great things, but overall, I'm good. And it's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. My boy Hotta, man, you know, straight off the mic. What's happening with you, brother?
What up? I'm good, man. I'm straight. I'm happy to be here, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man. It's football.
We got the always intelligent, talking smooth Mr. Dom. How you doing in the building, Dom?
You know, I'm blessed, and so then I try to bless. So I'm ready to grace this space, give y'all a little bit of the action for the Cowboys, but then also to hear about, you know, what's going on in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are the champ. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is, man. Let's get into it. So, Smitty, man, you think since y'all won, you know, the NFC, the division, we're gonna start with y'all on what's going on with the training camps. From what y'all read, hint, read. What's going on with y'all team, man?
It's looking good, really, bro. Like the only person that's really not surprising, you know what I'm saying, is Jalen Hurts. You know, he doing what we expected. You know, it might be a small increase in what you seen last year to what you see this year, but I think the guys around him are starting to really lock in. You're starting to hear more about, you know, Devontae Smith having good days, AJ Brown having good days. You know, you got a dude in Joseph Nagata who just got here from Clemson. He having great days. He looking like he might be our fourth receiver, man, right now. The receiving room, like the running back room, people want to talk about they don't want to talk about the receiving room like what we really brought in Rambo and Hazelwood and Ngata and Olamide Zaccheaus. Like they don't really want to talk about the additions, but these guys really looking all right. I mean, today I wasn't really happy about AJ Brown like returning punts. I wasn't okay with that.
Oh, you got him on punt return?
I wasn't okay with that. I seen him return like 6 punts. I was like, oh no, I'm not okay with this.
I don't think he'll ever do that. He won't.
No, they had him back there for real, bro. He like was really like fielding punts like during our special team reps. I'm like, oh, hey, listen.
Nah, we can't afford that at all. That's the most high impact play.
Yeah.
We can't afford that at all.
But it hasn't been like the only thing I can say. I would be okay with him probably fielding a couple of kickoff returns because it ain't many kickoff returns a game, anyways.
Yeah,
just wave your hand to go to the 25 now, so it ain't really much to, you know, to come back. But it's been looking good, man. Nakobe Dean went out today, but he came back in. I don't really know the update on James Bradbury at the moment.
He said
he got hurt too, didn't he?
Yeah, he got hurt, but he came back too. He put his helmet back on. He came back.
We good. We back to work. So you know, we trying to get better, man. You know, we in the NFC East, man. The hardest division in football. The hardest division in football. Hold on, let me say it one more. The hardest division in football.
Right.
We almost put 4 people in the playoffs last year. There's no slacking and not getting better, bro. You got to get better. The Commanders, you know, you hear them out here. They a 10-win team. You listen to the Giants. They're 11, 12-win team. Y'all a 12-win team. like it's
We
not
heard
enough
y'all
wins
talking
to
about 15 wins though. We heard y'all fan base talking about 15. So
I don't know
we
who
with
said
that.
15. I ain't that far, but I am in that 13, 14
Yeah.
range.
Okay.
I'm cool with as many wins as they can get. If they get 15 wins, we're gonna be happy with that. I'm not gonna be upset about that.
I better do
Well,
something.
But that's definitely gonna be tough though. It's definitely gonna be tough.
Being a
It's a lot on
Cowboys
the
guy,
schedule for 15.
being a Cowboys guy, I'll trade every single regular season win for some success.
Yeah.
Playoffs,
I don't
man.
care about the, as long as we get the playoffs,
Man, we
that's
gotta
all
get
I
it.
care about, man.
We got to get it in this Final Four this year. It's
Oh yes, man.
all the excuses are out there, but man, get to the Final Four.
Wouldn't it be fire if the Dallas and Cowboys played? I mean, Dallas and Eagles played in the championship.
Well, we ruined that plan last year.
Wouldn't that be
You
crazy?
started this, dog.
That would be
You
amazing.
started this.
That
You
would be
started this, dog.
We wet the bed
People
on
gonna
that
be
one.
harassing me on Twitter now, talking about we need Smitty in here because he gonna be reasonable.
Right?
God,
Yeah.
God. Oh,
Hey,
God,
I was gonna be
Tyler, you
dirty.
see it?
I was gonna be
Did you see
dirty
the
and
post?
screenshot that comment you had on Twitter about that Eagles page. You was mad about that Eagles page always talking about Cowboys, man.
Tyler, did you see what happened?
Nah, what happened? Tell me what happened.
So this is Eagles. It was Eagles Nation, right?
Yes, Eagles Nation.
So we've been in camp for 5 days, bro. They ain't posted no like highlight tapes or nothing.
Nothing.
All they've posted the whole 5 days is Cowboy training camp.
Yeah.
I snapped. I said we got all this stuff going on in Eagle country. We talking about the Cowboy. What happened with the Eagles today? Can you give me an update?
They don't even know, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
They
why,
don't even know.
why is your name Eagle Nation, but you talking about the Cowboy? You might well change your name.
He be on my page looking for content, man. I was like, hey, if you gonna look for content, at least give me a follow. Don't be all on my page. Don't follow me back. That's all I gotta say. But hey, man, we gonna get. I got a little couple of clips from y'all media team. So apparently, Jalen Hurts has been perfect in practice. He hasn't thrown any interceptions in training camp practice. They say he's been from not seeing the clips. I just want to know, how do y'all feel about it? How are you gaining a lot of praise for this, or is it just practice?
Well, in totality, he's 56 or 72.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in totality, what I like about practice, right? I'm gonna let Holla jump in here, but what I like about practice is I haven't seen a lot of those quarterback runs. It's been a lot of put the ball up the field. We want to see where you can put this ball, where you can place it, because we want to go away from you putting your body in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I really want him to take that, and like he said today, his first attribute is passing the ball. Second attribute is using the mind. Third attribute is running. In that order. I don't want running to be first. I want it to be last, because I want you to be able to get out the pocket and kind of still look up the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you just drop it off. I mean, being smart, processing, working with Tom Brady, that's things that come. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. You know what I'm saying? What you think, Hotta?
Oh, I really like what I'm seeing from Jalen and Camp. You know, he threw 0 interceptions. So that just tells me one thing, is that he locked in and he laser sharp right now. He's been progressing every year, and that's what we need in this training camp. Even though we didn't get to see as much as I would like, we still heard that, you know, he was doing his thing. So, you know, I'm super excited to see that Swift might be taking that number 1 running back spot. I've been saying it all off season since we got him. Now I thought that he would be number 1, and the things that I'm seeing from him is going to really be tragic. You know what I mean? This year for a lot of other teams, it's going to be hard to defend, you know, Jalen and a receiving running back out the backfield. But I'm extremely happy, man.
So Lethal, you was at training camp today. Can you give me some interesting you seen out there, man? Because I'm trying to, you know, I want to hear something.
I can, but before we get into to that, I have a question. There's no clips of what Hurts is doing at Eagles training camp.
They ain't giving
I'm
us
like,
nothing. We drain dry. We over here putting pennies together to try to get them a camera system.
I'm like 56 of 72 sounds good, but it's like when we say
they
there's
have
no
all the tape.
interceptions, is it
They've been
because
taping
What are they doing?
Listen,
How
they've
is it
been
looking?
taping it. They've been taping it. They had drones. They had 2-3 drones out there the other
Yeah.
day. Like they was taping it.
They're just not
They're
making
just
it
not giving
public.
it to us.
Yeah, they're not making it public.
right,
And
right,
then
right.
they put some
I
time, though.
get that,
The
but
Eagles been
that's
like
what I'm
that
saying. I'm
forever.
like I want to see it because I want context. You
Well,
know, I'm like
the
when we
only
say
time
he
we're gonna
has
get
no.
to see it, Lethal, is Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
gonna be the only
that
video you're gonna get Sunday.
I don't think
that
it's fair y'all
definitely
getting
aligns with some of the things I've heard in Hertz's interviews, so I can see that being the case. So yeah, I'm gonna take that with like a little grain of salt. As for me, what I saw at training camp, I was looking for like a couple of things because if y'all don't know, I've never been to an NFL training camp before. I've never been to any kind of training camp. So like Tuesday, that was my first time ever going to any sort of football practice and seeing it happen. So Brian Broaddus was kind enough to kind of like let me know, okay, this is how things go. This is what's about to happen next. Yada yada yada. That's why they're over there. They're over here. Whatever. So today I was looking for a couple of people. I wanted to watch Nashawn Wright. I wanted to pay more attention to Micah. Not that I'm expecting him to make a mistake, but I'm fascinated by his approach to his role this season, what we've seen so far, and to watch him a little bit more. And obviously, I'm watching Dak because he's one of my favorites. And then when I got there, I saw Simi Fehoko was suited up. So he became one of the people that I was watching because he had a quad contusion, which usually takes at minimum 5 days to heal from. 2 days later, he's back on the field. So I'm like, okay, I want to see what he's bringing to the field. And I know not a lot of people are interested in Simi, but I am. So I was watching that. But I would say over good things that I saw were that once again, when Dak gets the ball out fast, things are going well. He's very good at making those plays happen, so that's a good thing. The thing I don't like about that, well, I shouldn't say the thing that I don't like about that. The thing that I don't like that I'm seeing that's related to that is the fact that when he doesn't get the ball out fast, sometimes there are more breakdowns in the O line than I'd like to see. I know they're not really going 100% right now, but what I am seeing in terms of defensive players getting past the O line is a little bit concerning. So yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more protection for him, especially considering the fact that we have people like Brandon Cooks who like you really want to see them get yardage, you know. And I know we're all on like the yak train, like okay, we want to see our players get more yak, cool. But Brandon can also like take a really long pass, but it's like, how's that going to happen if the quarterback isn't protected long enough to get the ball to him whenever he's running those routes? So I don't know. Hopefully, though, questions on O-line that we weren't expecting to have. So we'll see. But outside of that, defense looks super hungry. Obviously, I'm seeing a lot of good things from some people who I don't think get enough credit. I will say that about Nashawn Wright. He's super fast. He's staying in the side pocket of the receivers that he's on. And I think a lot of people are just kind of going off the reputation that he had last year of having good moments, but overall not being as consistent as they like. I think he's stepping up, and I think it's time to give him a little bit more credit. For receivers, we've got so many receivers. Good God. There's a lot of depth there. So that's good. Let's see what else. Micah is a fucking force. Can I cuss on here? Okay. Yeah, Micah is ridiculous. Just watching him, you can tell he's taking his combat training seriously.
Yeah.
The way that he's approaching his opposition, it's like you can tell he's not just like, okay, let me push you, let me just get to the quarterback. He is finding weaknesses in their movement and using it against them. And that combined with the fact that he is so damn fast, dude is scary to watch. It is really scary to watch. And that might even be part of the reason why our O-line looks so disheveled, because there's so many times that they're having to double team him. I even saw it on Tuesday. At one time, it looked like they were triple teaming him, like just trying to figure out how do we stop this guy
I got a
from
question.
getting to the QB. You know,
How many snaps
What's
did
up?
he get at edge? Was he mostly edge, or was he playing a little off ball? I mean, what we looking at? I mean,
Yeah, Micah's.
it was mostly edge. At least when I was paying attention, it was mostly edge.
Yeah,
He was on Tyron Smith like most of the time. Like him and Tyron going at it crazy.
Yeah.
He be getting
but I heard he want to be majority edge, but you know, I heard y'all defensive coordinator also come back and rebuttal and say he's gonna play whatever is best for the defense. So
that's Coach talk.
This is facts. So he's expected to be majority edge by people who are Mako said at one point that he expected to line up at like 8 different spots at some point this season. So we might see some surprises. One thing that I know for sure is that they're not telling the public everything. So there are going to be some things that they're going to throw out there that we won't see at training camp. And especially when it comes to how many different ways can we use Micah Parsons, I don't even expect us to see that. So while the sound bites about him being moved all over the place are really cool, I never had any expectation of actually seeing it. I don't expect them to put a lot of footage of that kind.
Hey, to speak off of what you know, as far as Dan Quinn telling the public, you know, we're gonna play him whatever. I wouldn't take what Dan Quinn nor Mike McCarthy say at heart. They both can lie to the public, especially Mike McCarthy. You know, this whole thing about the media saying we gonna run the ball, we want to run the ball, and then we got all these wide receivers. I just learned to take what Mike McCarthy, especially him, just take him lightly, and that's what I like. Lie to us. Don't let a lot of stuff go out, especially with you being underneath Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep everything nigga tight. Why would we want the world to know what the hell we do? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I would say take it with a grain of salt. Maybe he might play anywhere. Maybe he might be at edge, but we ain't gonna let y'all know.
we're not worried.
Yeah, and I mean we have to think about the fact that like we see a couple of hours of practice that we don't see. They're having meetings that we're not privy to. So who knows what they're planning, you know? I'm just excited from what I have seen. I've seen our players doing very well. The skills that they're executing well. So I just feel like whatever they end up doing, it's going to be executed well. But I think we're going to see some surprises once we actually get into the season.
Yeah. What you think, John? Man, you was out there last week. And you know, we all been following on the clips that's being released. How do you feel about anything that's popping out that you find intriguing about the team moving forward?
Yeah, to me, the number one thing that stood out about this team is the defensive side of the ball. There are so many leaders on that side, and not just rah-rah guys. These are guys who are super productive that actually can bring something to the game, and then they practice just like you would want them to play in a real game. And so that was the number one thing that stood out. No matter what level of the defense you were looking at, as I'm, doing my little pictures, every snapshot I got, I saw a leader in that snapshot. So we got a nice blend of young guys with experience, men who still got something left in the tank. For example, Stephon Gilmore, that has been a godsend of a trade for the Dallas Cowboys. What he's able to do, not just for our cornerbacks to watch him coach up our receivers, for him to take CD Young to the side or CD Lamb to the side and be like, hey, young cat, like you did this on me in this route. How about you try this? So giving him those nice little savvy things that could be utilized against the opponents, that's what I like to see. J-Ron Curse is a beast on the back end for us, one of the better safeties covering tight ends in the league, locked down some of the most elite tight ends last year.
Hey, Don, what school he went to?
Oh, man, Clemson.
Okay.
Yeah. Clemson kid. But yeah.
I was over here thinking, I'm like, did he go to – I'm like, he went to some orange. Did he go to Syracuse? So like, no, it's Clemson, I think.
Yeah, so the main thing is like the defense overall is the better unit on the team, and they've been dominating the practices. I think it's like the opposite for you guys. As I see things trickle out from y'all's camp, it seems as if the offense is having their way with the defense. But for us, as a fan, I want to see our defense win the day because really they're the ones I think that's going to take us into the playoffs. But we need our offense not to be lagging behind too far, because they'll, take us over the top, finally get us into that Final Four, because that's the side of the ball that's been hurting us the last 2 years. So overall, man, we have a very deep roster on defense. Our defensive line looks great. The interior of the line, which had been a problem, man, they're stacked. And so we got 3 guys over 330 pounds that can push the pocket from the middle. And then our edge guys are primed and ready. So it looks good on that defensive line. The one area that we were concerned about going into this camp is the linebackers. And I've put it out, like, our whole NFC East has an issue with linebackers, both starting with experience or lack thereof, but then also the depth is a major concern. So it's been nice to watch Dallas. While there, I was shocked at how fast flowing, how athletic our linebackers are. So in Dallas, we see a lot of nickel and a whole bunch of dime. So we really just need 2 guys to step up and perform, because we use a lot of safeties to help us play some of that, in the box linebacker type stuff. Jaron Kearse being one, Donovan Wilson being another. So who's that third linebacker that can step up for us? And it looks like our third-year guy, Jabril Cox, that we've been waiting to see come along. If you watched the Dallas Giants game last year, he was the one that made the sideline to play, hit Daniel Jones, knocked him out the game. So, we're looking for big things out of that unit. But if I'm being honest, that's the unit that I'm still a little bit concerned about, just because of the youth.
Yeah,
I'm definitely concerned about our linebacker. Like, I'm okay with Nakobe Dean, but outside of that, it's been a revolving door right now. Like, everybody under their mama been at our linebacker spot and our second safety spot. Like, both of those spots right there kind of concern me. But if I was gonna have to go get one, I have to get one. You know what I'm saying? The other one I wouldn't be so scared about, because they kind of coincide together. So I'm thinking, it's probably gonna be a move made at some point for safety, because that's to me, Sidney Brown is making a move up the depth chart. But if he's so far down the depth chart, how much faith did you really have in what he brought to the table when you brought him into this team? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm high on him, but were you high on him? So I don't want you to put him in a crash dummy situation if you don't trust him, because I don't want you putting him out there and you got to simplify the defense because he's on the field.
Right. Sidney Brown was one of my favorite safeties coming out of the draft. I'm really Mr. Draft guy. And then, covering offensive, defensive line, that's my thing. Sidney Brown, man, that dude had an energy pack on his back, man. That battery pack just never went, in a depleted state. So I thought originally what he could do to help y'all, whenever I saw y'all get him, I was more upset about y'all getting him than I was, your first round guys, because I made so much about Sidney. But I thought he'd be able to come in and produce, some energy on special teams. He reminds me of Hufanga out there for San Francisco. But yeah, maybe get him a shot, see what he can do. But still, it's about that experience. You want guys who at least been there and done it. And that's what's scary about super talented guys, but they're unproven. You hadn't seen them do anything yet in the league.
Question for everybody on the panel. We in training camp. I know it's early, but who's your standout guy on the offense or defensive side of the ball right now through the first few days of training camp?
Do you want to put more qualifiers on that, far as like somebody?
It don't matter. Whatever you see as a standout.
Oh, for us, it's Micah Parsons is the guy. Like, you can sit him out right now. Like, you want to keep him conditioned and all that. Of course, he needs practice, but man, he took it to another level. And Lethal was right. I mean, the stuff that he's doing, I guarantee, like, at the end of the year, if you look at it, Micah's actually going to have more sacks. Instead of looping, he's going to be beating guys with an inside move. And it's just the sheer power and the quickness in his hands that's going to get guys off balance, because they're going to be thinking, he's trying to beat me to the outside. And it's not going to be just like spin moves. It's the hump move. It's a club move, like dipping under. He's just so fast, so strong, dialed in right now. But I'll throw in another one. The guy that people probably weren't expecting is a rookie receiver of ours from South Carolina, Jalen Brooks. He's performing like really like top 6, 7 guy right now.
Yeah.
And then you throw in Lamb is killing it. I'd put probably Lamb number 2 on the list for us, and maybe number 3 Cooks. So it's crazy. We got 3 receivers producing like some of the best guys in camp right now. But Micah is that guy.
Lethal.
Yeah, agreed. When you asked the question, I was actually trying to decide in my mind between Micah and CD, because Micah's the obvious choice. And I'll add on to what Dom said. I actually have seen him beat some guys to the outside, but it's like the way he does it is different. One thing about like fighters, and I taught the team, is like fighters usually have like alternating strikes, or combos, right? And so we're not seeing him like, use 2 hands to like go up against someone, or even like that rip and run move that he used a lot last season. I'm seeing him like approach guys from like one side and then push them with another hand and then like swim over with the other. It's a lot of like it looks like he's fighting, or in some cases using jiu-jitsu almost, like what Dom said about under guys when he was triple teamed on Tuesday. He basically ducked under 2 guys and they kind of like fell towards each other and then like went past the third one. I don't know. It was some shit I've never seen before. I was just like, this dude, oh my God. So yeah, Micah is definitely outstanding. I do like what I'm seeing from CD as well, though, just because when I first started watching the Cowboys, he was one of the people who people were like, is he going to be able to step up? Can he eventually be wide receiver 1? A lot of drop passes in 2021, and people were concerned. And then in 2022, he was kind of given the wide receiver 1 title, but people were kind of waiting for him to walk through the door. And by the end of the season, I would say he did it, but it took him a little while to really convince people. And this year, it's like he's going into the season looking like the undisputed number 1. Like he has leveled up season after season, and now he just looks like a fucking star. I love it. He's been one of my favorite players for a long time. And so I'm enjoying watching his growth. And I like the ascent that he's on. And I don't think he's done. I don't think we're like anywhere near what CeeDee Lamb is ultimately going to be. But the fact that he's doing so well, the fact that he is a top 10 receiver where he is now, it just makes me so excited. So I love what I see from him. And then just off principle, like I got to shout out Dak just because, and this is almost in consideration of the stuff that came out yesterday, but the things that he's done in the offseason and the type of leader that he's being at camp, hey, don't do that. I'm talking about his role as a leader, okay? That means a lot to me.
We're going to get into that.
Hey, Howard, look, I took the glasses off, bro.
His leadership has done a lot for the team, and I would be remiss to not acknowledge that. Like I'm a person who I consider those types of things, intangibles mean a lot to me in terms of me picking my favorite. So yes, that is one of the reasons that I love Dak Prescott so much. And so shout out to him for handling the season the way that he's handling it.
Hotter.
If I had to pick 2, I got to go with AJ Brown. He definitely right back to work. He definitely starting exactly where he left off last season. So I'm excited for that. Our receiving core is hands down one of the best in the division, if not the best. And I also like to see what Devontae Smith is doing. Him and the way he progressing is something different. We really love to see Quez. Quez is one of those guys I'm definitely seeing, and I'm definitely excited to see what he bring. Even though everybody say that Quez ain't the guy, I always been a Quez fan. And what we hearing is that he's doing great in camp. So this receiving core, I think, is going to be one of the strong points. It's going to definitely move this offense up the field, especially with Olamide Zaccheaus. I'm kind of waiting to see what I see out those 2 and who wins that 3rd spot. I just don't know yet. But it's so many different variables with that. Jalen Hurts is definitely one of those guys. I mean, that goes without saying. Jalen Hurts has had an amazing camp. He turned it up again. You know, and like I said, he said he a triple threat. His mind is what really got me tripping. How strong he is as a quarterback, how strong he is mentally, how he study, how he work, how he play on Sunday. The leadership is what we need. He taking this city to the next level. He definitely giving us the opportunity that we need to be successful this year and the next few years to come. It's so many great players on the Philadelphia Eagles. I just definitely wish that we could probably see a little bit more. But when preseason start, we definitely gonna get our, and tomorrow, I mean on Saturday, we're gonna definitely get to see a few things. We're gonna definitely be reporting a few things. But training camp is, to me, what I hear is we doing our thing. We doing our thing.
Oh no, how it's still going? Never mind, my bad.
Go ahead, dog. Go.
No, go ahead. Ride out.
Yeah, land your plane, brother.
Land your plane, man. Land the G517, man.
Yeah, and I'm just excited that how we put this running backs. We got like 4 or 5 running backs who, we running back by committee right now. We don't really even know if it's gonna be running back by committee or who gonna be the starting. But I'm hoping that is DeVonta Swift. DeAndre Swift. We know that, but we got so many options and so many good players. At the first, the second, the third, we got Boston Scott. I'm definitely excited what I'm seeing out, what I'm hearing with Trey Sermons. I'm hoping that he probably can make this team, but we just don't know. But
hey, Cole, click that right there. You see it already. Third comment.
Oh, the question?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna answer the question, and then I don't want to hear about this shit no more. Okay. He asked me about pushing the ball. Yes, we pushed the ball up the field last year, but how many carries did my quarterback have? He had more than your backup running back, who was splitting carries. I do not want to see him in that range. I want him to get under the 100 range. When I say pushing the ball, I'm adding in another 70 or 80 passes that we didn't perform last year because my quarterback was running the ball. I am trying to get to a more even offense where my quarterback is not in danger on every play. Chicago, he ran the ball 18 times. Bro, it's running backs in the league that's been in the league 10, 15 years. They decorated, and they're on a team right now where they can't even get 18 carries. So that's when I say pushing the ball at the field, I mean my quarterback not having to be the guy. And we were 3.4% in the check down rate. We were last in the league.
That's why
I want more of those too. We got Swift. We got Olamide Zaccheaus. Like, we got the check down game. We got the short game now. Now we don't have to just push the ball at the field. We can actually dump the ball in the flats. We could put it in the middle. We could set up some of those wide receiver screens. We could set up some of those motions where we got beat in the Super Bowl with. Those type of things is what I'm talking about when I say push the rock. It ain't all about 60-yard bombs. What about those little 20-yard 10s, 5s that we wasn't getting last year? We were almost last in the league in yak yards when the ball was thrown under 10 yards. Those are the type of things I'm talking about when I say pushing the rock. All right, Cole. So who your guy is, Cole? Then I'll come back to my guy.
So we'll be doing like 2 of each.
Yeah, you can take 2 of each. Yeah.
Okay. So as far as offense, I would say what's really been highlighted to me, of course, CeeDee Lamb. Man, it's hard to even do 2, man. I'm gonna do 3. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Brandon Cooks. Man, that's all I gotta say right there, man. They've been killing the game. I gotta give it to my guy Dak, man. Of course, we all know he be going through a whole bunch of stuff. All these haters out here, but he been really lighting up camp. Yeah, he throw interceptions. There's a lot of other great quarterbacks out there that threw interceptions in camp too. You know what I'm saying? It's fine, it's practice. But I would rather him take those chances and throw those picks in practice than in the game. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he's trying to figure out his offense. So it's okay if he throw a couple of picks. But, as far as defensively, Michael Parsons has been out of control. We have to basically put a muzzle on this guy because he's taking out our own quarterback. He ain't touching the red. You know what I'm saying? I like it, but I don't. I'd rather him do that to like Will Greer and Cooper Rush. Hit those guys if you want to hit somebody. Don't hit that. We can't have it. But Mozzie Smith. I know a lot. You know, I'm not gonna hype up Mozzie, but I like the whoopings he's been taking with these triple team, double teams, going at it with Tyron Smith. He needs guys like Tyron to push him around, get him all, roughed up. That's how whenever week 9 comes and he going against a Kelsey, you know what I'm saying, and a Lane Johnson, he'll be ready for that type of stuff. So, I'm hyped up for my guy Mozzie. And of course, another guy on defense, Trayvon Diggs, and my guy, one thing I like to say, I've been noticing Leighton Vander Esch. He's been on point lately. They just find some. It's very important to see what Leighton gonna do. I believe, is he gonna have the green dot? If I'm not mistaken, is he currently the green dot guy?
I'm not for sure. I might check that one out. That's a good question.
Yeah,
I'm not sure either, but I know he's been doing some stuff at Edge too, which is interesting.
He does.
But he been having a pretty good camp though, from what I've seen. But
yeah, Vander Esch, right? That's the guy, right?
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, I seen it. I was watching some clips the other day. I seen him working on that edge. I was like, what the hell they doing with their middle linebacker? Why is he at edge?
I'm trying to. It's the first thing that pops up is the speed. I'm like, is he fast?
Dude, Martin Talk says J-Ron Curse is the green dot.
Oh, so Curse is the green dot guy now? I know it's either between him.
I don't think so. Curse was the green dot guy 2 years ago. Last year it was Vander Esch. Because you remember Sam Williams didn't even know that Dak and LVE had the headset in their ear. So, he's still a young guy trying to develop.
Old miseducation, man.
Yeah, so I do think it is LVE this year again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's take a light break. Let's take a light break.
Hold on. We don't take no break. We taking no break. Let me take my light. Let me tell my story.
Oh yeah, he still got to tell his.
I ain't go yet. I got different answers than my compadre
Both
here.
know what he doing.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't know you went. My bad, you didn't go yet.
Nah, because Buddy had to cut me off with the crazy comments, man. But okay, so offensively, I'm gonna go with DeAndre Swift, and I'm gonna go with Cam Jurgens. He been getting in that dirty one-on-one work with Jalen Carter. He been one-on-one with Jordan Davis. He been getting in the trenches and he been holding up his own. So right now, he's looking a lot to be that right guard spot. Even though I'm not 100% sold, that's why I want him at, because I don't have a backup center right now. We'll get into that later because I don't want to throw Tyler Steen in the middle of no situation, and you know how that goes. So I'm gonna go with DeAndre Swift. I'm gonna go with Cam Jurgens. On the defensive end, I'm going Nolan Smith and Reed Blankenship. Nolan Smith been causing havoc all over the field. He been doing his thing. He been making life hell for Mariota. He making us think we might need to drop Mariota. How he doing Mariota right now? But we're gonna see. And then Reed Blankenship, he's been on every first team snap since we started camp. He's the only safety that hasn't left the field with the first team. It's been matchups with him. He's been on the field. He's the constant right now. So right now, I gotta be surprised by that because that's not exactly how I thought it was gonna go. I thought he was gonna be, earning his spot in the same manner of Sidney Brown. But since he getting all the snaps, he been around the field. He been kind of been there, and he still kind of got that same mindset of last year where he going to Bradbury, he going to Slay. He going to these DB coaches. He asking, why is he missing this play? Why am I not in the right place? And he want to know. He want to understand. And I understand. When you're a UDFA, you got to do a little bit more work. You got to seem like you wanted a little bit more than everybody else. But he's in a situation where he's showing it, and I can't do anything but give him kudos. Now you can take your light break.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just trying to feel, man.
What you trying to glaze the honey bun over there? Yeah.
We gotta go ahead with a shout out to BLS. I can't say BLS. BLS. Dumb from Pick Six Sports. I got the links in the in the chat, and my guy Diamond Crew.
Appreciate you.
I just shot you a sub, brother. Hey,
I appreciate you,
look
man.
up to all these guys on the panel, man. Like they bringing out great content.
Lethal, you can't come up with another name.
Huh?
Like she can't come up with like an acronym, so we ain't gotta say that word. I can't say the word.
It has an acronym. BLS is an acronym.
That's the acronym for real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
BLS.
BLS.
Yeah,
Okay.
bitches love sports. So if you don't want to say bitches love sports, you say BLS. It's fine.
Okay.
Hello.
Every time I talk to Cole and we be like talking about it, I'll be like, love sports, you know. You be like, huh? I just skipped the whole word. I don't even
Gotta be
lie.
respectful.
Hey.
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 How you doing?
All right. But yeah, give a sub up, like up. Let's go ahead and grow these channels. Hey, I've been
Yes.
very impressed. I've been very impressed with your channel, Lee. You've been bringing in some superstars. I've been like, dang, man, I had to wait in line. But nah, for real, I like how our community is with Botch. You know, he came on my stream one time. I was like, brother, I didn't know you knew who I was. You know, so it's great to know people, with that high mark coming down and showing love to us that's starting off.
Who had Voch on the show?
So well, she had Botch on her show starting off.
I had Voch on the
Hey,
show.
Yeah, that's
listen,
love.
can you shoot out a little memo? Just a little memo. Just tell us Smitty want to talk to him for like 32 seconds. I only need 32 seconds. I just want to hear him say everything he said 2021-22 preseason.
Oh, speaking of Botch, he in the building, man.
There you go.
Shout out to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Hey, Voch.
I done spoke
Listen,
him up.
I know you big time, bro. I know you big time, bro. But I just need like 5 minutes of your time one day. Whenever you get time, you can come on here. We can do it. We can do it right here on Win Enemies Class. Just 5 minutes, man. I just want to hear your take on Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown after we just did what we did. That's all I want.
Can I throw something out there while you talking about this?
Yeah.
Then if you want Voch, I need LB.
Oh yeah, because he be ducking and dodging.
I need LB. I need LB.
LB be ducking and
I
dodging.
need LB and I need lowercase Tom Stakes.
Oh man, hold on. You can't do my boy Tom like that.
Hey,
No, lowercase Tom. For what? For what? What are you talking to him about?
all right. So I continue to hear these same old arguments about Cowboys fans don't hold Dak Prescott accountable.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to when you say that?
Oh, the Twitter. Oh, you come on. Where you been at, Don? They be on there. They be on there buying every excuse they can.
No,
like
where have you been
store.
at?
Well, hold on. If he's talking to his real friends behind the camera who represent the new media for the Dallas Cowboys, are you talking to them? Because them guys that he run with, who are Cowboys guys who are plugged in, they hold Dak accountable. So you ain't talking to them, but then he try to, crap on, the uneducated part of the fan base. Every fan base has that. So you can't come up here and try to, sound logical by using the uneducated part of the fan base as your argument as to why you continue to crap on Dak. So don't try to then, act like you're giving him props by saying, oh, he's a great leader. He's got the intangibles. Dak is a good quarterback, but hold him accountable. It's like, bruh, he's being held accountable. The only reason why guys like a Coles, me, BLS, some of the other educated people, those guys who are higher up right now in this game who represent the new media for us, the only reason we do then put as much, positive things out about Dak is only to combat guys like him, guys like lowercase Tom. So we only bring those things out in defense of Dak while knowing that our guy needs to get us over that hump.
Yeah.
But we feel like he has what it takes to get us over the hump. You'll never
Can I add to that though?
Yeah.
I feel like it's not even just to defend Dak. Like I feel like when people are talking about what Dak has done wrong, they're only telling part of the story, And so if you want to tell the full story, it's like we're defending Dak or we're making excuses because we have to list all the good things because nobody else is. Even if you look at just what's happened during this offseason, since training camp started. I've literally been watching mainstream media, and every time I watch them, I'm like, have they listened to any headlines, any interviews, any news coming out of the actual Dallas Cowboys camp since like March? Everything that they say sounds so old and so outdated, but it fits their narrative, so they go with it. So we're not holding him accountable. I just think it means that we're holding him accountable and we give him praise and we add context and we consider the nuance of various situations. Like he's had interceptions at camp that I want to speak on, but I literally don't speak on it because I don't feel like people saying they're making excuses for him. Like one of the interceptions today, it was Stephon Gilmore was on Simi Fehoko. So yes, if you have like one of our best cornerbacks on our wide receiver 4, maybe 5, depending on who you ask, like, yeah, shit's gonna go awry. Or to go on Twitter and say that, people would be like, oh, you're making excuses for Dak. It's like, no, this is a fact. I know what I saw, you know?
What's that?
So it's, huh?
Plus, it was out of bounds anyway, so it didn't count as an interception.
Yeah, so it's just really frustrating when those things happen. That being said, Dom, leave lowercase Tom alone. The reason why I asked like why you wanted to talk to him was because like I just feel like that would just be a bloodbath. Like y'all do y'all thing on Twitter. You do not need to bring him on the show.
All right, hold on.
Smitty, y'all
My
had
problem.
He the low hanging
I
fruit.
had time on the show, but listen, my problem with a lot of the fan base in Dallas, right, is when you start telling them what you really feel about Dak Prescott. You're like, look, I like. Okay, look, I'm gonna put it like this, Dom. I'm a Brett Favre fan, but you know what made me not be a Green Bay Packer fan? I didn't like the turnovers. I just didn't.
Right.
I didn't think that was winning football. I like Josh Allen. I don't like the turnovers. I just don't. So when I think about Dak Prescott, I'm like, if it wasn't for, and it's not even like he's a big turnover guy. Like, if you look at his numbers, he's not turning the ball over 20, 30 times. It's the moments of the turnovers. It's like fourth quarter.
Not really enough moments, man.
Y'all,
the last 2 years?
Well, that last one in the
The
playoffs.
moment of the turnovers?
Yeah.
The playoff game was a moment.
That was a moment. You got to admit that was a moment in the playoffs.
It
I
was
can
a
take regular season fuck ups. I could take that.
Wait. Hold on. I need clarification here. I need clarification. You saying that you like Dak Prescott, but because of a few moments that he had in one season out of his entire career, that made you turn away from him as a quarterback altogether?
I wasn't done. If you'd have let me finish, it's the turnovers and it's the
go ahead.
playoffs. It's the playoffs too.
But
It's the playoffs too. He has showed, according to Coles, the man has showed up 2 times in 6 games.
He showed up in the 2016, his rookie season. He didn't.
Showed up,
We didn't.
and then
We didn't lose because of him.
We didn't win. Y'all lost to the one where y'all won and then lost to Seattle, right?
Yeah, we won against we won because of him in Seattle. When we lost because of the defense against the Rams that same year, the Rams that went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Dak didn't lose us that game. The defense did. Now in 2021, that's different. A lot of stuff went bad.
Okay. The two games against San Fran, who lost that game?
And which one? The first one or the
Both
second?
of them.
The last one.
The first one?
Both of them on Dak.
It's still content.
It was
Listen,
14 points in that game.
Listen. Hold on, wait. My son
You all on one player.
Look, my son is in middle school, right? My son in middle school, right?
Okay.
When Dak took off and ran, he said, go out of bounds. And he slid. He said, Daddy, that game over. I said, no, they might got a chance. He said, no, you can't run with that little bit of time on the clock. That's a bad play.
But the whole
If
game
my
was
13-year-old son can see that's a bad play, and he don't even play football.
But that's
that game
that's
wasn't
that
on that
one
play, though.
play. Like they didn't lose that game off of that play.
No, but it accounted to the loss
Right.
too, though. Bad time management is part of losses.
We're not saying that Dak didn't play a role in the loss. We're saying that you can't blame him for the entire loss. Is that a difficult concept?
Hold on. We do this as fans, right? The quarterback get the praise if he when he succeed, but when he lose, you tell me I can't give him all the blame. No,
not Dak.
Not Dak.
We've never given Dak all the praise for a win.
Get praise for winning.
Hold on. Let me explain it.
He gets some praise.
I just told me I went 12-5 2
blame.
years in a row because Dak Prescott was your quarterback.
In y'all playoff games, did Jalen Hurts get praise from them games? because Jalen Hurts didn't throw no touchdown passes in that playoff run. Y'all gave praise to Kenny Gainwell and y'all defense through the playoff.
Hold on. Wait.
Dom has something to say.
Let's march through this. As a rookie, performing the way he performed, Dak did not get the praise that he really deserved because everybody talked about O-line, the best O-line in the game. And then Ezekiel Elliott doing what he was doing in that backfield. It was all about the run game. And then the defense was solid enough, but it was all about really Ezekiel Elliott, the run game. The second Dak got paid, then it was about the contract and about how, he's only an intangibles guy. He don't have the arm talent. And then it shifted to the defense last year. Like every time Dallas has some success, even within our own fan base, you got fans over here talking about they want Romo back. Oh, we should have brought Romo back in whenever they went to that playoff. Right. It's like, man.
Last year we had fans trying to say Cooper Rush was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Right.
Statistically, the offense wasn't high, but Cooper Rush did not lose games until he met us.
Until he got to Philadelphia, a real team. He lost.
He was winning games. He was 4-0.
Even those wins in context, it was poor offense on the side of the Cowboys. It was just a great defense really doing that thing, because nobody in their right mind would have said Cooper Rush is a good quarterback. In fact, he was available this offseason.
Nobody got it.
If we say
it was a great defense, and Cooper Rush is a good enough quarterback to where he didn't completely fuck it up until he got to the Eagles when he just seemed like he was at a loss of what to do. Right. So, I mean, he did what he was supposed to do as a backup. They simplified the offense to make it easier for him to manage. He, protected the ball. He did what he did. At the end of the day, if you look at their actual skills and what they actually bring to the field, that as a matter of fact, I'll say this, that was when I really started to like Cowboys Nation, because around the time that debate was happening, that was when I discovered Nix and Dom and the spaces, and I heard people actually telling the truth and providing context and backing up the points with facts, and I was like, okay, I love this fan base now. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's been insufferable for
anybody. The thing I was saying wasn't about fans like you though. What about the fans that be like, oh, you got to take some of his interceptions away because no, it's an interception. It happened. Even if it ain't his fault, it happened. It go on your
Cowboys fan base is too large to try to hold every single segment of the fan base accountable. There's so many people.
I hold my fan base accountable.
That it's like you're going to like the way the fan base is larger. That means the segment of our fan base that is a bunch of idiots and a bunch of dick riders. That segment is also larger than other fan bases. Every fan base has those people, but with the Cowboys, there's just so many of them, and they talk so much, and they're catered to and pandered to by the mainstream media, which only makes them louder. It only makes them talk more. So it's like they stand out more, because basically the conversation in mainstream media is between those fans and the talking heads, because the talking heads can take their points and whittle them down like baby food and feed them to people, and then get their sponsorships and their ad dollars and their clicks and engagements and whatever. And so that's all you hear. And it's like for the conversation holes are trying to have, you have to actually like seek that out. You have to want it. It's like when people say eating healthy is hard. It's like, is it really? Like, the food considered healthy is some of the simplest food that you'll ever find, but you won't get it through the McDonald's drive-thru. You're gonna actually have to find a restaurant you like. You're gonna have to actually find recipes that you like. But is it difficult? No. You just got to do something different than what all the people around you are doing.
Hey, Hada, if Dak was in Philly for the last 8 years, how many of those years you think he would have been our quarterback?
Oh, he'd have been gone. Because we know
which game would have killed him.
Let me ask you this while y'all on this subject. Going by how y'all front office is and how they treat their quarterbacks, I mean, I think Dak could probably get y'all one, honestly, because he's not dealing with a clown or front office. He'll be dealing with somebody that's handling the team professionally.
I would like that stricken from the record, because we're trying to get the media credentials. Stephen Jones, he did not mean to say that.
So right. Right. I'm
Hey, chill out, bro.
I'm like, did he just say that?
we trying to carve. We trying to carve.
Yeah, that's why I say I can't go to the
Right
media
now.
party.
I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna say it this way because I think it's important that we tell the truth. But in Philly, would they have ever hired an offensive coordinator with zero experience? I
We
know
just
the
did it
current
last year.
offensive
We
coordinator
just did it last
doesn't
year.
have any.
We just did it.
Huh?
Shane Steichen never called an offense ever in his life. We just did it.
You're right.
Was he a
Shane
coach?
Steichen never,
No.
never,
Yeah.
Wasn't no college at least though.
She
no,
wasn't-
never called a play in his life.
but she wasn't done either. It was more about the guys already in place before you. 2 times now, we
Hold
basically
on.
had the offensive coordinator in place who was inexperienced before we even
Who
had our
was
head
who
Kellen
was
coach.
the
Moore?
two?
Kellen Moore and Jason
Kellen-
Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
Oh,
Jason Garrett had the
Jason-
job as an offensive coordinator before the head coach was even put in, and then it was like coaching waiting, and then he got the job, and then like we repeated that same old history. So like it's finally looking
He missed
nice,
the 8-8. That was Jason Garrett for sure.
man.
Wait, are y'all saying y'all's current offensive coordinator never called a play?
No.
Last
The
year.
coach from
Last
coach
year.
that
Oh, the
went to
last
the
one.
Super Bowl,
Okay,
Shane
okay.
Steichen.
I was like, wait, I'm tripping.
So I got a question. Do y'all think that Kellen Moore was the problem?
Yeah.
Context.
Give us a. Go ahead. Go.
Come on, Don. Give me the context there so I can get clued in.
Y'all can explain it better than me.
Everything y'all said about y'all's defensive coordinator and why y'all lost last year, we say the same thing and think that same thing about our offensive coordinator. Now, y'all had an all-time great defense. We had a statistically great offense. But you knew that when it was crunch time, when it was really ready to be efficient, putting your team in the best position, like getting that game plan like ready, and then having a counter punch whenever you get punched in the face and your original plan didn't really go the way that you expected, that's when you knew, man, the wheels done fell off. So it's that same idea that we feel like y'all about your DC, your last year's DC. It's that addition by subtraction.
Hey, Dom,
So
with the 2 games that pointed out the best for you, would it be the Jags game and the Green Bay game?
To my last year, Smitty?
The Jazz game, I thought they had one in the clutch, and then Kellen Moore was
Pitt.
not running the ball.
That
He
that
didn't put
was
on the ground
And
at
Dak
all.
is
I'm
the
like,
Dak
what are
throw
you
pick.
doing?
Yeah, that one was number
But
one.
he got put in that position with now Harder. The one thing I will say, that's the one pick I felt like he got put in that situation because he shouldn't have even been throwing the ball
Right.
that late in the damn
Yeah.
game.
Yep, he
Yeah,
should have been
true.
running. And in the whole game, Dak was off. Again, we held him accountable. We knew that the whole game. You go back, you look at tweets in game or look at our thread. We're like, Dak ain't seeing the field. Like this is not his day. Why are we still passing the ball up the way that we were up? Like put it in the defensive hand.
Can I interject here?
Go ahead.
I just want to interject before I get too far away from my point because Steichen. So he was
Quarterback
an
coach for Chargers with
What?
Phillip Rivers. He was a quarterback coach for the Chargers and the Colts. Should have been.
and he was an offensive coordinator for the Chargers, and he was at least an offensive quality control coach before that twice.
I remember he was a
So
quality
my
control.
point
I remember him
was,
being a
I
coordinator.
don't remember him being over.
You know how they do those
right?
coordinators
Well,
sometimes.
he's listed as offensive coordinator for the Chargers in 2020 and 2019. But my point is, Kellen Moore didn't have none of this. Like I'm looking at Steichen's career history. Offensive assistant, defensive assistant, offensive quality control coach twice, quarterbacks coach, interim offensive coordinator, and then finally OC for the Eagles.
But he never called plays before he got here.
Kellen Moore didn't have any of that though.
What did Kellen Moore do before he got the yard? I don't even know.
He was our backup quarterback.
He's a
Good.
Nothing. He was a backup quarterback, and then they made him a quarterbacks coach, and then they made him an OC. That was it. Like he was just in the building, and they decided they liked him. Essentially, is what happened.
Yep. Same thing with Garrett in a sense.
And then they kept him around for years, despite everybody saying, like, "Hey, it looks like something's lacking in his play calling. Like, maybe we should, get him some more experience in another role or somewhere else, and bring in somebody who knows what they're doing."
My fault, Lethal. It was more Jonathan Gannon that was in the shoes of Kellen Moore than Steichen, because Jonathan Gannon 2020 was a DB coach, and then he got promoted to defensive coordinator overnight.
Yeah.
Well, basically,
Okay,
you know,
I would say that's a
and
little bit more comparable.
yeah.
But just adding on to what Dom was saying about Kellen Moore, I think when people ask the question like, okay, was Kellen Moore the problem? The same way that I don't put all the blame on Dak, I don't put all the blame on Kellen Moore, but I would say there are some things that I would have expected him to do differently, especially in terms of in-game adjustments. That just so many times where it felt like Kellen Moore was either calling the games based on some sort of script that he refused to deviate from. He had his schemes that, regardless of what his players showed him that they were good at, he's like, you know what? Fuck that. I want to call the plays this way. Sometimes I was like, I wonder if he did that because it looked pretty on paper. Like mirror routes, like it just didn't make sense for the skills that we had on the field. Like, huh?
Triple verses on third down.
Man, yeah, the
You know.
cute stuff.
So
Like the option route thing is kind of what killed me because y'all kept telling me about
and
that.
here's
I'm trying to
here's
see
my
it.
major point when it comes to all this. If you look at all the losses for the last 2 seasons, most of those games were lost by 7 points or less. So we're talking about one possession. So in other words, a handful of plays each season could have made the difference. So I feel like if we had a more qualified OC, maybe those handful of plays could have gone differently and we could have gotten different results. Talking about a losing team that just like shit the bed every single game. We're talking about a winning team that somehow managed to lose some very important games. We're not talking about entire games that were lost by like 20 points or anything like that. One possession in most cases. One possession. So if we're looking at maybe one drive, a few plays that if they would have done something different, we could have gotten different results. And so I think that's why when Mike McCarthy says we need about a 30% change in the offense, I think that's what he's referring to. He's looking at those situational circumstances that just like, hey, that should have been called differently. We have players with certain skills that could have made this game go a different way, and we need to use them according to their strengths and to their skills. And that's something that Kellen Moore didn't do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna bring up a point. My guy Nick's brought it up. That 30%, ignore that. Coles, you even mentioned it earlier. McCarthy be lying. It's gonna be more like 50%. They're gonna change up a little bit more. That's like men. That's like men who are really 5'9", 5'10", tell you they 6 feet tall. Like you don't ever tell the full truth. So yeah, you bring up some good points. Yeah, ultimately, man, it came down to we were so predictable on our run plays on first down. We were running between the guard over and over and over, running into brick walls. A couple of years ago, the issue was red zone efficiency. We would drive the ball between the 20s like it was nothing, and then we'll just call some cute play like Cole's alluded to. It's like, what are we doing an end around for? And we've been pounding the rock, and then it was the bringing back the option route. It's like, okay, what are we doing? But the efficiency with the run game was a problem. It wasn't that we didn't run the ball enough, because you look at the overall numbers, we ran the ball about 48% of the time last year, but it's the type of run. And so that's what we're wanting to see out of Mike McCarthy. And they're spending a lot of time in practice focused in on the offensive line scheme. We got in a new offensive line coach. And so you see a lot of them using like the single shoulder blocking. So because they're preparing for a lot of the combo blocks, we're looking more towards an inside power zone type scheme. And they're looking to finally punch dudes in the mouth, where there's a little bit of more finesse type thing in the run game. So it's looking positive. I know it sounds like we drinking the Kool-Aid, but
yeah, I can smell the Dallas Kool. I can smell it from over here.
I got a whole picture.
But I think it's that blueberry lemonade.
But the little bit of problems that we've been seeing the last few years, and hoping that they would change some things up. It's looking nice. Now I'll say this will be one of the last things I'll say, or I'll flip the script. As much as it sounds like I might be hyping up Dallas, which I'm not, the truth is we have a roster that should be, a contender. Like every team's fan base want their guys to be their team to be a contender. We are a contender. Y'all a contender. We got to catch y'all. Y'all up there in that top 2, overall roster. We trying to get there, but we up there in the top 4. Now, y'all though, your fan base, ooh, y'all are setting Hurts up for a mighty haul.
Here we go, Hotter.
How we setting him up for a mighty haul? He's strong enough to take it. He do the job. He's strong
That's
as
it.
hell.
Y'all setting him up for that Wednesday.
Hey,
His mindset,
A.
give me my mindset.
Yeah, like his mind saying nowhere near Wentz
He
mindset.
better be winning games for y'all. That's all I gotta say.
He got
He
that
better
money.
be winning games because if he don't, that accountable thing, y'all gonna do him like y'all did Wentz.
He got that
No, we
money.
wouldn't do that with Jalen because that wasn't the problem with Wentz. The only problem we had with Wentz is he was weak-minded. He wasn't a leader. We already know that Jalen a leader. We already know that he gonna take this team and he gonna be the leader of it. He gonna show everybody that this is what we do. You know what I mean? Go ahead,
my
look at
point.
it.
You know who else is a good leader? Never mind. I'm
Who
not
a
doing
good leader?
that.
Say who a good leader is.
She gonna say Dak Prescott.
He a good leader. He a good leader.
The reason I
Okay,
few skill
so
sets.
what are we then saying about leadership in terms of the value of a quarterback then?
He just lacked clutch moment plays. Like he when his clutch moment plays, he don't make them. He
Dak
turn the
ain't
ball
clutch.
over. He
You
not
said
clutch.
Dak ain't clutch?
No.
Hold on.
What
Wait.
game you watching, bro?
Bro,
All
he
right.
2-4. He can't be that clutch.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'll
He
tell you this.
2-4. He can't be that clutch.
I'll tell you this.
Y'all going off one season?
Right.
How many of those 6 games was in his hands?
One
Small
season?
sample
Y'all
size.
go-
Small sample size.
How is 7 years, 8 years a
No.
small sample
No.
size?
That's a large sample size. I just don't
No.
think he have
I'm
it.
just
Now,
telling you.
Hey.
Y'all
When
did
is it
this
going? What
with-
is it going to take for y'all to give up on Dak? If he lose this year, are y'all still going to be on the Dak
Man, that
train?
man can go out there right now and go 4-13, and they'll bring him back and they'll tell me the same thing they told me this offseason, that he's a great leader and that he's not gonna throw the ball away. Right now, Hotter.
Well, last year
Don't
was
believe in
the
Dak
interception
right
problem, so why they
now,
gonna say it
and
again?
they still tell you they believe in him when they don't
Here's-
believe in him.
Here's my
Well,
thing.
it's a lot of
So,
people who don't believe in him, and there's people that do. But hey, it's just the way it is.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you my answer to that question you asked. The great quarterbacks in the league, even some of the greatest, those that are above average to great, you got many of them who hadn't won a Super Bowl. You got some that didn't win their first Super Bowl or the one that they may have until they were 31, 32,
Like Peyton Manning.
34.
Peyton
Dak,
Manning.
yeah, Dak just turned 30. So that's why it's like, well, how long are we going to give him? Well, I'm going to give him as long as y'all gave Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. Just go through the gamut of them. Like, his career ain't over. He ain't like on a downslide. Like,
Going that way took a long time to get him.
so, but personally, man, it's like Dallas has a nice little 2 to 3 year window. Just looking at the current talent that they have on the team, the roster has churned so much to the point that, Dak is the only returning guy from that 2016 rookie team. And then guys before that were taken, we only got 5 others on the team. So this is an extremely young team. And I just got through saying we have like a top 4 roster in the league. So we draft well. Now we're starting to change our philosophy as far as trades, bringing in a guy like Cooks and Gilmore. We do more of that. That's going to be nice. In fact, Dallas has tried to do that the last 3 years, bringing in more named guys. It just didn't work.
So
now
Don,
they brought in veterans.
You brought up a couple greats here. I just want to ask a question. Was their careers up until that point not better than the accomplishment that you've seen out of Dak Prescott in 8 years?
Do you remember how people trash Peyton Manning? And actually, here's the other thing.
When?
I'm
year 3.
Only social media
trash about him in year
No.
3, and then this man came out and got an MVP.
It was
Put the league on fire in year 4.
Remember, it was the same. It was the same lack of playoff. Couldn't get beyond the Patriots. People trash Peyton Manning. Then they start talking about
where he was playing Peyton at though. He's playing in big games, not the divisional round.
It still doesn't
Tom
matter.
Brady was facing that man to go to Super Bowls, Dom. It's
Exactly.
different.
But still, that's what you are measured to whenever you're a quarterback of the Cowboys. Even if we would have won last year against San Francisco, even if we would have gotten to the point of an AFC
Different
championship
conversation.
game, ain't nobody caring about that.
Different conversation.
No, it's going to be the
Different
same
con-
people
You
who
gotta beat
troll
your
y'all.
adversary.
It's going to be the same
Do
people.
you remember
who
what
troll
happened to
y'all
Michael
about
Jordan when he
losing.
kept getting whooped by the Pistons, and then he finally beat the Pistons? They didn't care that he didn't if he didn't go and win on championship. They needed him to get past the adversary that you can't beat. It's just like playing a video game all day, and you get to the big boss, and you keep beating on him, and you keep losing and restarting, and you keep getting back to that same spot, wondering why you can't beat them. That's what people are asking about the Cowboys. Why do you keep facing the same team and Mike Shanahan, who has a choke gene, and you can't seem to come up on the winning end of that stick?
First
That's
of all,
the question.
you're talking in like we've been playing them 5 times in the playoffs and never won. It's been 2 times.
2 is enough.
And we beat the 49ers
Is it?
in the playoffs.
When the last time you beat him in the
no.
playoffs? When the last time you beat him in the playoffs, Cole? And if you say anything that begin with a 9, I'm
just saying,
leaving.
y'all acting like they own us in the playoffs.
I'm leaving.
Y'all acting like they own us historically in the playoffs when
right.
they don't.
The last
I'm just
three times
saying,
we
2 is
played
enough.
them, the
2
three
games.
time- yeah, the last time we played them was a 90s game, and then these last 2 years. Like, what are we talking about?
You know, back then we
Because
owned.
it's
Do
the
you know
manner
back then
of
we
the
owned
L,
them
though,
2 times in a
Dom.
row? Do you know we owned them 2 times in a row back
Hold
in
on.
the And it's-
Okay, I understand the 90s. We don't care. Just like I don't care about your championships in the 90s. I don't care about the 90s, bro.
But you're
I'm talking
acting like
about
you
what
just
have
beat
you
the
done for me lately?
Okay,
And lately,
I'm glad you said that. I'm
you
glad-
have took
So
an
let's talk about
L
something.
to the 49ers,
Let's
just
talk
like I
about the
took an
Eagles. Why
L
y'all
to the
can't beat the
Chiefs.
Cowboys? Why y'all can't beat the Cowboys then? The same stuff.
We won and won last
Why y'all
year.
can't get past Dallas?
We won it. What have you done to stop
Wait,
me from
I'm
getting past
trying
you?
to figure
In
out
your-
why this
in
is
your-
even significant. Why
in
is
your
this even a
quarterback's
conversation?
In your quarterback's tender, I got 2 Super Bowl appearances. How many you got? 0. That's the context. I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you having a 27-7 record against the NFC East. You ain't stopped me from accomplishing nothing.
Okay.
That's mediocre wins. What you talking about right now, Coles? See,
Mediocre.
why I respect
No,
Dom
man.
is Dom said
You
it
never
real.
had that
If he's
conversation.
not in the Final Four next year,
You don't need that
he is
conversation
on
with
the
him.
he on the hot seat with
He gotta
on the
go.
hot seat with
He
him.
has to go.
He on the
He
hot
has
seat.
to.
If Dak Prescott goes out there in the divisional round and throws a game pick and y'all lose again in the divisional round to San Fran again, I can guarantee you if I call Dom and say, get on the show with me, Dom gonna say I want that.
Hold on. You
But you
just
acting like
described
he always
a very specific situation.
Thank
You just described a scenario
He
where
blew
we
it
end up in
games
the
anyway.
San
2
Francisco
years in a row,
and
the
lose
scenario been
due to
close.
Dak Prescott throwing a pick.
That's
That is
21
like
22.
so.
Hey, Holla, the
That's
last 2
like
times you seen Dak,
a
We only
fucking
going off what
Dungeons
we
and
see.
Dragons.
I'm going off what I see.
We're
Like,
only going off really
I'm
what
going
we
off what I
see.
see.
That's all
2
we
years
can
in a
do.
row,
So
you
you
lost
mean
to
to tell
Dak.
me every playoff game Dak Prescott
No, I
played
said last 2.
in his
The last
career
2.
ended
Last 2.
with him throwing a
The
pick?
last 2. The
Because that's
last
what you're
2.
trying to make it seem
The
like.
last 2. The
The
last 2.
last 2. That's not.
I'm just
that's
saying,
not
like,
true.
why is this even a thought? Like,
Right.
why are we discussing this specific situation? And so we that not only are the Cowboys going to lose in the playoffs, but they're going to lose in the divisional round against the 49ers due to Dak Prescott throwing a pick. What the fuck is this?
Hey,
This
Lisa, did that
sounds
happen
like the
twice?
type of shit that we were talking
The
about
interception didn't
earlier,
happen twice.
where
But
it's
y'all
like
losing the same
where it's like
round twice.
mainstream media has talked about this scenario so much that
It's the
people are
great
just
thing is-
expecting to see it happen, and they act like
I
it's
didn't expect
happened
to see it happen. It
5
happened
times
twice.
over the last 2 years. What the hell? Why is this a conversation?
Right.
Out of all the things
Narratives
we
don't
can talk
change
about,
once that time is
no, hold
proven.
on, listen. For all the things that we could be discussing right now, why are we discussing the probability of the Cowboys losing in the divisional round to the 49ers due to Dak Prescott throwing a pick? What are we doing? I'm hungry.
Okay, he really
Like,
don't
is
have
this
to be
what we're
San
doing
Fran.
right now?
If he go to the divisional round and throw a pick and lose in general, Dom will come on here and tell the truth.
That's what I'm saying. We talking about period, not just the Niners. Or
If-
we
if
talking
If
about
that
There's a
happens,
reason
we
you
will
lose
tell
the
the
game
truth.
in the
But what I'm
playoffs,
saying
period.
is the odds of it happening are so slim. Why are we
I
discussing
agree
this
with
on
that.
August
I agree
3rd?
with that.
So
That the
Dom,
odds is slim.
if
But we-
Dak Prescott is the reason you end up with a first game exit, are you okay with that?
Absolutely not.
No, I'm not okay with it.
Y'all sound like it though.
But the way that you're explaining
Y'all
it
like,
is
oh man, if you
dumb.
throw a pick and lose the game, it's cool. It's cool. Y'all making a fairy.
Nobody ever said that.
You
Literally
lost 2 years in a
nobody
row
ever
to
said
San
that.
Fran. You
Wait,
lost 2
okay,
years
okay,
ago
let
to
me
San
ask
Fran.
you.
You said
But
I'm
that's
making
the
a fairy
thing.
tale.
No. Hold on. You're conflating things. When it comes to losing 2 years in a row to San Francisco, what we're
In the
basically saying is
divisional
like, yeah,
round.
we get that it happened because that's when we see San Francisco in the playoffs. Okay.
You can't
Due
win
to
with
the
that one.
structure of the brackets, yes, it was the
You won't get
divisional
truthful
rounds.
for nothing.
Cool.
Right. My
What we're
thing is,
saying
Smitty,
is we get that happened.
It's cool. Hey,
We
look, y'all got
understand
the
that it was
best
not a
quarterback
good
in the
thing.
division, the best team in the
Stay
division,
with him.
and no
Keep
matter
him.
what, and no
no,
matter
don't do
what he
that. Don't
does,
do that,
y'all gonna give
Smitty.
him an excuse.
Don't do that,
I can't
Smitty.
keep
You
doing
gonna
this,
keep
bro.
finish my
Come on,
Y'all
statement?
don't want
bruh.
to talk real about
No,
Dak
no one is
Prescott.
saying any
Y'all
of
don't want to
that.
say he be fucking
Ain't
up.
nobody
Literally,
Y'all
saying
nobody has
that.
said that.
No,
don't
here's
want
the
Hey,
y'all want to
thing.
say
have
y'all
you
gonna
ever
be
heard the
truthful. If
term
he gonna
straw
lose the
man
playoffs,
argument?
y'all to keep him. Okay, cool.
Have you
I'll
ever
allow
No,
it.
heard the
you
term
can
straw man argument before?
exactly.
Okay, because that's what you're doing right now. Like
Yes.
literally, none of us ever said any of the things that you're
No.
yelling about right now. We
Y'all
didn't
are
say that.
arguing at me because I said if Dak Prescott go to the play, yes, I said San Fran, but it
No,
did happen
Smitty.
twice. Y'all did
Smitty.
go to the divisional round.
Yes,
Y'all
it
did lose to
happened. We're
San Fran, and it
acknowledging that
was
it
because of
happened.
Dak.
But what we're
No.
saying is, why are we talking about that right now? It
Right.
happened. It
And
sucked. We know it sucked.
Y'all went
We
down the
got
rabbit
happened.
hole of Dak. I
What
tried
he
to
wants
avoid
to
the
know,
Dak.
no,
what
I
he
didn't
no.
even
wants
And
to
the
go there.
odds
know,
of that happening again are very slim. So,
but
But the
like,
big
why are
thing
we
But the
talking
is,
about
odds of it
that?
happening 2 years in a row was slim.
but the
what he
big
wants
thing
to
is,
know is what we're gonna
we've
do
been
with Dak Prescott if we lose.
That
So,
was
so
my
let me.
question. My question wasn't about the Niners. This is about what you're gonna do if y'all lose again.
that's why I said context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
don't know.
then Smitty gave that example of if that occurred, then what would we do?
Right.
We would do like we did as logical Cowboys fans, which is hold him accountable. But then we also look at the full context of that loss by saying it's not on one guy. It's probably chances are going to be on the scheme, some coaching, execution by the players. For example, last year, Dak was a major reason on why we lost that game against San Francisco. We agree to that. We admit that. But then also we go into that game with two playmakers and CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. The second Tony Pollard went down, it was a wrap. It didn't matter what was about to happen. We had hardly anything on offense. There was nothing to show for. So that's why I'm like, well, in a different sense, I could flip that same scenario that Smitty tried to give and go, well, what if he gives a performance like Jalen Hurts is being praised for, but yet still lose? Is Dak going to be on the hot seat if he goes,
If he goes to the Super
28
Bowl,
for
No. If
I'm
he
just
go out
saying,
in the divisional round and
even
give
in a
or
divisional
whatever round of
round,
playoffs and give the same performance that Jalen Hurts
a
gave in a
great
losing
game,
effort in the Super Bowl,
a
I
great
would be
game.
Here's what I
way
can
more okay
say:
with that.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl and Dak had a fumble towards the end of the game, like what we saw, he would have been crucified. If
We
the
didn't
but
fumble.
we
Cowboys
Hold up,
still
were
listen. That fumble
facing,
was in the
fight
first
for him
quarter.
fumbling.
If that would have been Dak
That
in
fumble
that
was in the first
situation,
quarter.
Yeah,
no matter how his performance
Jalen
was,
Hurts,
he would
just
have
like
got
y'all threw the
crucified.
pick
it doesn't.
in the game
But it
against
doesn't
us.
matter. It doesn't matter. If it had happened,
Dak
we would
Prescott
not
first
have
play of the
heard
game.
the
What
end of
happened?
it.
I don't think so
Dom.
because if Dak would have made it to the
Last year,
Super Bowl,
Christmas
we wouldn't
Eve.
be talking
Hold
about that.
on, Hada. Last year, Christmas Eve. What was the first play Dak did from scrimmage?
Throw a pick. I was at that game.
Pick
Throw a
six,
pick.
right?
Yeah.
How many Eagles fans have you heard bring it up? Zero. Because you know why? He answered the turnover. You can't talk. I can't talk about something you made up for. Guess what? He went down 7-0, and then he came back and won the game. I
He
can't
was
say
lights
nothing
out
about
that
that.
game.
Jalen Hurts came back and tied that Super Bowl up in the fourth quarter, 35-35. If he get the ball back with 1 minute and 20 seconds left, I don't know what happens, but I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that with 1 minute and 20 seconds left and 2 touchdowns, we go home with a ship. We didn't get the opportunity because Jonathan Gannon was a nincompoop.
Yeah, and that special teams as well. That was
I
a
feel
major,
that.
that was a major
We
reason
kicked
why
the ball
we lost.
from the 20-yard line. This man returned it to the 3. We didn't even get an opportunity, and then Jonathan Gannon come out and 2 plays in the. That's why when I get hot about the losses, I'm hot because Jonathan Gannon 2 times in the red zone. You call a 0 blitz and you get bleed on a motion play.
Hold on.
Wait
Wait
a
a
minute.
minute. Whoa. So I'm about to do you the way y'all do Dak. When are y'all gonna hold Darius Slay accountable? getting
Shit, he
beat on
got toasted that second half of the season. What are you talking about? Go look at my videos.
I'm not talking to you. I'm pulling the LB now and
Oh,
doing a general you. When are y'all going to hold your defensive players accountable and not just the DC for the collapse in the Super Bowl?
Well, mainly that
listen.
was look, man. He didn't
go
put
ahead,
the
Honda.
players in the right position. That was the main
Oh
reason.
no,
He didn't
but
put
you
them in
the
the right
player,
position.
like change the play. Forget the coach.
No, you can't do that.
Well, people expect Dak to do that.
This is the problem, Dom, that I have. Darius Slay,
You don't got to throw that
in
in
the Super
interception.
Bowl.
You don't have to throw that interception.
Hey, Honda, but the problem I have with Darius Slay in the Super Bowl, he obviously knew the play was going outside, and he left the responsibility on Avonte Maddox. When he could have obviously seen that Avonte Maddox didn't know what was going on and just adjusted himself to help Maddox, because both of them went the same way. So they obviously felt like they had the same job on that play. If you recognize that, because Darius Slay going back in on the motion, right? He put his hand up and told Maddox, "You got outside." Maddox didn't even budge and look at him. When I seen that, I played safety. When I would have seen that in high school, bro, my first reaction would have been, "I got to go back outside." Because my man finna go inside, because he not reading that I'm the inside man now. That was my problem with that first touchdown, because he went right inside knowing you just told a man to go outside and he didn't move. He didn't respond. He didn't give you no type of verbal altercation that he knew, oh, I'm going outside. And that was Slay's problem. And he did not go.
And I would say, you got to get a quarterback on the other side, and the credit too, because he had seen what that coverage was like. Absolutely. And how y'all were rolling. And so they set that up on the field too. So
you know who beat us with it? You know who originally beat us with it?
Yeah, it was earlier. What was it?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep, the Jags.
They used that same play to go up 14-0 on us.
Thank God for Quarterback Show, Netflix.
And they ran it right back. They ran it right back.
Yeah, but I don't want to pull my straw man arguments either. I'm just saying, like, often we like to choose who we want to blame, and like Eagles, y'all are blaming the DC. A part of our fan base is going to blame Kellen Moore, and it's like, well, but Dak got to take some of this blame too. Like, you are the quarterback of the team, and you haven't showed up, the last games of each of the last couple of seasons. But also, full context will show you, Dallas, man, that offense was sputtering. Like, it just did not have the offensive weapons. And Tampa Bay at that point, that was a fraud of a team making it into the playoffs. Even whenever the Giants beat Minnesota, we all knew Minnesota wasn't, a team that really should have pulled off 8-9 wins in a row. It was going to be a bad matchup. So ultimately, the buck was going to stop. Unfortunately, that's for our team that, sputtered the way that it did. But no, we don't have any excuses. We just try to provide context whenever we talk Dak Prescott.
That's all. I think that's fair.
Listen. Now that I'm back to Smitty, I'm back. The context to most people, what the first thing they say context is? Excuses. So when you ask me about the Super Bowl, right? You just ask me who do I blame? Miles Sanders, because you didn't run the ball. So the offensive coordinator in on this too. It ain't just the defense. Guess what? When you was up 10 and you got the ball back in the third quarter after they just scored, drain some of the clock, bruh. You got Patrick Mahomes on the other end. You can't just be giving the ball back willy-nilly. Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni, when you got in the red zone and it was 4th and 2 and you've been going for 4th down the whole damn game, what the hell is you kicking field goals for? You got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on the other side. We should have never been in a position to be down 8 and have to tie the damn game up.
But Smitty, you now providing context, which you just said is excuses.
No. You asked me who I blame. You asked me who I blame. You said I had to place the blame.
Right, but I'm saying is, you literally just led off by saying, when people hear context,
they hear excuses. That's why I don't do what I just did for you. Right. I don't do that. I just said we lost. Not cool. When they bring up the Super Bowl, what I say, we lost.
But you know what, Smitty? But you know what? To me, Smitty, and to somebody like Lethal, and even Coles when he ain't, trolling, doing his thing, we want that context. Because honestly, I watched every play of that Super Bowl. I've seen some replays. I don't remember that game like you do because you invested. That's your team. So when you go and you tell me that kind of stuff, and you know your coordinators, you've watched every single snap of the season, I love hearing that. So I like the context. But whenever
how
we try to,
or how we didn't run the ball in the fourth quarter,
right? But when we try to do that, then it's like, that's when it's applied to the excuses. But I know our fan base are doing y'all that same way. So,
Yeah.
but no, I personally, and I think that's why BLS was saying what she said a little bit earlier, like, why are we talking about this? We could be talking about something else. But really, that's the kind of stuff I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, what were the issues? And then what are the expectations this upcoming year for, you already told me yours in a space yesterday, so I know your answer to that, but people who might be listening now, they don't know.
Hotter.
Like, what are your
That's a question
expectations
for
for your team this year? And then Jalen Hurts. Because
Yeah.
when I said that earlier about it's like he's being set up for the fall, I'm not saying by you two, but man, it's like a lot of the stuff we see hitting our social media account, it's like Hurts is about to go out and throw for 4,500 yards, split the 30 passing touchdowns. He's
Going
gonna,
back to the Super Bowl, going
he-
back to the Super Bowl,
he only
winning
gonna,
it.
he's gonna still be single digits interceptions. He's gonna still have his rushing attack. The team gonna go 14 wins, 15 wins. They're gonna be like, you're hearing all this stuff, and it's like, yo, man, pump the brakes on that brother. Like, just hope he has another good, solid season. He may not even get the numbers he got last year, but man, they propping that boy up, man, for a big major fall.
Don, now, honest to God, truth. I think statistically though, no cap. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be better statistically. Our record might not say 14-3, but I think when you look at Jalen Hurts in a totality next year, you're gonna be like, okay, he not really running the ball. Okay, he actually sitting in the pocket. He actually using what a quarterback should use. He's actually checking down. He's actually going through progression. Because I heard this last year. Oh, he's a one progression quarterback. I'm like, what?
No.
Where do y'all see he's a one progression quarterback? Like, one read is very fast. You don't have much time with one read. We played a one read system in college.
I think there's a time when he was
2022 when we was
there was a time when he was, because that's just a habit among Lincoln Riley quarterbacks anyway, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but his progression shows that he's running through his progressions.
Yeah, he is.
And he like I said, you can tell by how accurate he has been that he's reading his progressions. Because if you're just looking at one player, then you're not going be as accurate as he is right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Eagles have to win this division. Like, that's my expectations, is winning this division, and I would like to go back to the conference championship. That's what I want to see. I'm not saying we're gonna win it or lose it, but that's my expectations for this team. I think we set up for success, and we're gonna be able to do it.
Cole?
I got a couple for y'all, man. Okay, I hear your expectations. I hear it, Hotter. But check this out, man. I even asked Smitty this. We had a conversation, and I want you to be real with me, man. Okay, the Eagles Nation, because they be in my mentions even when I don't even talk about it. They say they going back to the Super Bowl. The delusion that us Cowboys fans been saying for so many times because we excited about our team. They said they going back to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is going to win MVP, and they dead serious about it. I just said, okay. So I asked Smitty. I was like, okay, y'all do know, even if y'all do make it to the Super Bowl, y'all got to win it. Y'all cannot lose.
Got to.
Because you know how y'all fan base is for Jalen Hurts and the expectations that y'all put on him. Y'all put that on him like he's Superman. And that's all. Well, I want y'all to be behind that guy. I'm glad that he's successful. But you know how Philly is. And you know how the fan base is. It's going to be a narrative shift. Dang, they can't win the Super Bowl. They always losing their Super Bowl record. Can Hurts get it done? That's what the media do. That's what they do to us. We can't even get past the divisional round. That's going to be something that they're going to bring up. Do you think, how would y'all fan base react to something like that? Because that's how y'all did. I know.
How would you feel? How would you feel if we lost again?
McNabb, they already been through it.
Same type of performance though. He go in and ball out again.
I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with watching my team play at the highest level. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with that? What's the issue with that?
I'm
I
fine
want
with
to
that.
see my team play at the highest level, win or lose. I mean,
Not
that's the
you.
goal when you strap your cleats up and put your shoulder pads on, is to make it to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal here. But we're gonna
Yeah.
win, just like our coach said, we're gonna win one game at a time,
And that's how it's supposed to be.
and we're gonna get to our goal. That's our main goal. One game at a time, and Jalen is built to do it. I know a lot of people probably overthink, but I'm not gonna ever predict the Super Bowl. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
But I can definitely be confident in my team enough to say that they're gonna definitely go to the playoffs. And I feel like that's cool. And I feel like that y'all should feel the same way. If y'all
we know
Cowboys fan, y'all should feel like, all right, well, my team definitely going to the playoffs. You know what I mean? But we got to see if it's time to move on from y'all QB, or because that might be the issue, in my opinion. That's just my
If we
opinion.
feel like we're definitely going to the playoffs, why would we move on from our quarterback?
Because he can't win in the playoffs.
But who will we get
can't.
and
He can
replace
win.
him?
See,
can't-
that's my
But
problem.
he won
Listen, that's
last
my
year.
problem with Dallas, right?
Why would we all of a sudden expect him to
Dak-
just not win
Dak is so
at
Dak
all?
is so in the middle of the pile, right? He'll never be such a loser that he gets you a number 1 top 5 pick, but I don't think he'll ever be like, I know y'all believe it, but I don't think from what I see he'll ever be 32nd pick either.
Okay.
Like I don't think he'll
No,
be
he won't be
last.
a
I don't think he'll be last. You know, I don't think he'll ever get you out of there where you like, oh man, we going to get Caleb Williams, we going to get Drake May. Like y'all gonna have to trade up for that. But I don't think it might not even be him. Like y'all, it might be true. Jerry Jones might just be cursed. He might get traded and go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like because the Bills quarterback go get a Super Bowl?
Who?
Kelly. I mean, I don't think he was the starter, but I think he did go get a Super Bowl with somebody else. They 0-4, he go get a Super Bowl. Like if Dak was to get traded and go get a Super Bowl, I might have to come back here and apologize. But y'all would
I'll
kill
tell y'all,
Jerry
man.
Jones as soon as he got one though.
Right then and there, I'll say we curse. I already know. I already got it.
Y'all will kill Jerry. Y'all will put Jerry on the pen. Y'all be like, you mother.
I'll be like, hey,
My
man.
thing is, it's cool. It's cool to go to the playoffs, right? That's a great, that's
This
great,
team's
right?
been fine for
But that's not our ceiling. We don't want to just go to the playoffs. We want to win inside the playoffs.
Yeah, we
That's
do
our
too.
goal. You know what I mean? We don't want to go there and lose, but we definitely got to take the route to get there. And once we do, we got to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We the same way.
Yeah.
But hey, why we on this conversation about that? You know, make sure everything. But why we on this conversation about that? You know, a big thing blew up in social media. You know,
Why you had to bring this?
let me just say this, man. Let me just say
Let
this.
let him talk. I want to hear this.
I'm sure all of us played the game. Especially, I can pivot back to high school in the summertime before you start school and you in the hot heat. I'm from Mississippi, so it's hot out there around this time of the year. And you have to, you know, everybody pumped up back in pads. You happy? I play edge. I was a trash talker. I talk trash all the time. I called my quarterback a pussy because he ran out of bounds. So I'm about to knock his ass out. You know what I'm saying? So in the heat of the moment, you know, of course, Dak and Trayvon, they had their heat of the moment. And it blew up because, you know, Trayvon called him up, told him to shut his ass up. So with that being said, it blew up. Everybody took it and ran with it. Well, Dak was asked about that. I mean, basically, you know, honestly, it's one of those things you realize a lot of people haven't been in heated competitions. I feel bad for the people in those moments. I start, you know what I'm saying, pre-practice in the locker room. You know, they basically, it's crazy. You know, they even said Trayvon Diggs, you know, saying that we don't have no respect for Dak Prescott. The dude's a leader, and they like brothers, man. He loved the dude. Dak Prescott trash talks in practice all the time.
All the
Matter
time.
of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Dak was the one that started it and said, hey, we going to throw Trayvon Diggs' way because, hell, we over here eating over here. And he got into Trayvon Diggs' head. And basically, Trayvon got mad and said, man, should be this. So that, you know, it's just crazy how the media takes it. I get it. Some people don't feel like they need to want to be called the B word. I don't know. Women call each other the B word all the time for fooling. It ain't no different. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just want to know from y'all, it's y'all fan base that blew this thing up.
How to go ahead?
You know,
I think it was just a respect thing. Sometimes when you're a leader, you're supposed to demand respect, and that's from everybody. Even if you're the leader on the defense, leader on the offense, you just demand respect from the whole team. If you say you're the quarterback, but I didn't really get too crazy with that because it is what it is. I've played football all my life, so I've trash talked all my life, so I didn't really take it. I didn't really take it like that. It is what it is. Yeah. I just look, man, prove it. That's the thing. Prove it. It is what it is. You want to call me that? Prove it.
I mean,
I don't think
it was respectful because Trayvon did. The whole team really respects Dak. The whole team respects it. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people comparing them, like Patrick Mahomes, that nobody would talk to Patrick Mahomes like that. Some people said Tom Brady. We have a guy that's inside the Cowboys media that he played for the Cowboys, but he played with Tom Brady. He even sent out the video and he said, man, that's a lie. People talk trash to Tom Brady, and he talked trash back. It's all we
just don't do that on our side, Coles. That's just the fact of the matter. We just don't do that over here. But if y'all want to do that over there, that's cool.
I mean, you think some people will view that some of these other quarterbacks, of course, differently, but Dak has that buddy. Hey man, we just gonna fuck with each other in the locker room type of. It ain't all about respect. Dak not that type of guy that hey, you gonna talk trash to me, man, get him off the team. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. And then even if they did have situations, that's their business, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he still got the locker room. What y'all think?
Trayvon did the same thing to his his rookie year to Cooper, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Who talks mess to Amari Cooper, the Route King guy, and told him, you ain't catching nothing today.
Yeah.
And then went and told Dak that. So Dak was like, what? And so they laughed, and then they went straight at Trayvon. Like, they do this. This is what they do. And anybody that say the exact words Diggs used towards Dak is an ultimate sign of disrespect and that they really, don't care for each other. Man, my best friend right now was a guy, we went to rival schools. I met him. He was the captain. I was the captain at coin toss. We talked mad mess from 7th grade all the way through college. Yeah. Talked mess to each other. You'd have thought we hated each other. But best friends off the field? Like, these dudes come from a era of AAU basketball. Like, ain't nobody really true hated enemies like they used to be back in the 80s and 90s. Think about the NBA right now. You wouldn't have seen, Michael Jordan chumming it up with Isaiah Thomas and guys from the Bad Boys and stuff. like we see, the LeBrons and the KDs and Steph. Like, it's just a different era. They do different things. Things that used to fly in our day flies easily now. Like, all of us here, African American. I'm a school principal. I'm in the schools. Shoot, when I was a kid, you threw the N-word out and you weren't one of us, you getting your butt whipped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, all these people got a pass. And in fact, shoot, other races using it towards each other. And it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, everybody know within that Dallas circle that literally Trayvon respects Dak as the leader. Every show Trayvon has ever been invited on, it's unique that he goes out of his way to talk about Dak. And Trayvon is a super quiet guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. You compare him to other guys, he's in that same ilk of an Amari Cooper, where it almost seems like they're aloof. And he's actually had to defend himself as being a guy who's not that. He just like, I'm just a quiet guy. Yeah, I don't really mess around with too many people. I like to be to myself. But as far as his teammates, when it's time to get on that field and be in the locker room, he's an ultimate teammate. And Dak is the ultimate leader of that team. So I really think it was it's a dead time in the media right now. They got to bring up something. And so that's the low hanging fruit. And
I got a question.
Joy Taylor, I'm upset with Joy Taylor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I took a very nasty
We're
tweet.
down my age. She's 36 years old, and she's gonna get up there on her show and like pander. It's like, come on, girl. Like, I respected you, but now, you got to play the character since you've been on Speak. Like, come on.
It is, man. It is.
Go ahead, How do you got a question?
Yeah, what's
just
good with
wanna
Zach
ask
Martin?
this real
Do we
quick.
have any updates on Zach Martin on when he coming to camp, or is he at camp, or what's the update on him?
He ain't at camp. He ain't gonna be at camp. What they're gonna end up doing, mark my words, he's gonna get his money as he should, because right now he has zero guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And when you're a player with zero guarantees, that means if you go into the season and you get hurt, team ain't got to pay you. They can cut you right then and there. And so he is the number one interior player in the league. You can argue that. He's being paid as like the 9th interior guy. His guaranteed money is dried up. He has to do what he's doing. And we've seen traditionally with stars like him on the team, Stephen Jones ends up giving them that contract. So what they're going to do, this little $50,000 a day that he's losing, that's going to be figured into paying him into this new contract that he's getting. Because even against the cap for a team like the Dallas Cowboys, where they have cash, actual cash, unlike the Raiders owner is cash strapped, Dallas got all the dollars, and even the salary cap thing is pretty nice so far this year. We still got plenty of money left, so he'll get paid. It's it's almost like, shoot, go rest with, like, send Micah to just go chill with Zach right now, because neither one of them are needed on the field.
Yeah, we might need Micah to stay the way he playing, but yeah, and this is not the first time Zach Martin did this. It's not, he held out and we paid him. Well, you had a question, Lethal?
Not yet. Lethal has something she wanted to get in here.
I was just gonna add something to the Trayvon Diggs conversation, but it sounds like we're off that. So
no, go ahead.
Go
ahead. Go ahead, because I still didn't even interject, but it's small.
Well, I mean, I think the reason why we're hearing mixed responses to that out of Cowboys Nation is because there are some people who don't like that, and there are other people who respect him. So the people who don't like him are naturally going to latch on to something like that and run with it. Because, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons were both on the pivot, like talking to Ryan Clark about how much they respect Dak Prescott. This entire offseason, we've heard not only from players who are part of the Dallas Cowboys, but even players who are no longer with the Dallas Cowboys talk about how great of a leader he is and how respected he is. But the media didn't want to talk about any of that. Had they given any of those sound bites equal coverage, there would be no doubt in anybody's mind that it was just trash talk, it was banter, and it didn't mean anything. But when players are talking about how much they respect Dak, how much they love him, how he's a great leader, how the team wouldn't be the same without him, they don't cover it. But then they take one little soundbite that, to me, as soon as I saw it, it was obvious it was trash talk. And I thought it was funny because it was just last week that someone made a comment to Mike McCarthy about Trayvon Diggs being quiet. And Mike McCarthy was like, well, I don't get that impression of him, but okay. And he just kind of went with the question. But everybody glossed over. Mike McCarthy just said Trayvon Diggs is not a quiet dude. Why would he say that? Nobody's mentioned Trayvon's leadership skills. So what else would it be about Trayvon Diggs that would make Mike McCarthy say he's actually not a quiet dude like y'all think he is? Clearly, dude is on the field talking shit to his teammates, and rightfully so. Iron sharpens iron, so I get it. I'd rather see that on the field than them being soft on each other and letting mistakes go. I want Trayvon Diggs to talk shit when that happens, because it creates a kind of competitive nature that makes everybody better. So by all means, do it. But I just feel like there's so much evidence out there that Dak is respected that not only was it ridiculous to suggest that Trayvon didn't respect him, the way people tried to run with it and suggest that this was going to impact his contract negotiations and it was a sign that the team was going to perform poorly this year and that the team's falling apart. I'm like, are y'all that desperate for content? Seriously?
Weren't they lying about it? They want to lie for clicks. That's basically what it is. You're not gonna get clicks
I
about
write
Trey.
for a blog. I have to put out 3 articles a week, whether something's happening with the team or not. So I know when you need to come up with content, you can come up with content. I've written stories about Michael Irvin that have gotten tens of thousands of clicks on this blog, where most stories only get like 2,000 or 3,000 clicks. So I know you can come up with something to talk about. I do it literally on a weekly basis. They're being lazy. They're going after low-hanging fruit. They are deliberately taking things out of context. I play roller derby with a bunch of women. I've heard women tell other women worse shit than that. I play on a co-ed team. I've heard women tell other men worse shit than that, and men talk back. And they're all teammates afterwards. Like, we all go out and have drinks and go to the after party together afterwards. It's whatever. This is what high-performing athletes do. Sometimes they swear. Do y'all remember on Hard Knocks when Dak cussed and everybody like freaked out about it?
Yeah.
Like, I think that image is part of people's response. I think people still think of Dak as like, oh, he's this nice guy. I'm like, no, Dak knows how to conduct himself in interviews. Nobody who has gone through the amount of BS, like on the field, off the field, in his personal life, Dak has gone through, and still shows up every day and still manages to be a leader and still manages to perform at a high level. Nobody who goes through all that is soft. He's not timid, and I would say he's probably a good guy, but like, I just don't see nice guy. I don't see timid guy. I don't see walkover. I don't see doormat with him. I see a good guy who will break a foot off if he has to.
Yeah, I agree on it.
Listen, see, look, it was taken out of context, right? Only because they wanted a reaction from Dak Prescott that they did not receive. They wanted him to say something. They want to hear a response. That's why I was taking, like you hear the stories about Mike and Karl Malone and Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing. When they got disrespected in practice, you heard about them fighting and throwing hit. That's what they wanted. So when they didn't see it, like, oh, he ain't react like I would have reacted. Listen, me reacting to a dude that has millions of dollars is totally different. Now, what I told you, Cole, how I would react, I'm a hardworking man going to work every day. So yeah, in the competitive spirit, I don't feel like you can necessarily call me that. When I'm making $10 million and Trayvon Diggs there, and we friends or whatever going on, you call me that. Maybe they do talk like that on a regular basis. But the outside looking in is just disrespect. On the outside looking in, we don't know their relationship. We don't know how they feel. If he might call him and be like, bitch ass nigga, what you doing, man? Get your ass out of bed. Okay, that's how y'all talk on a regular basis. I can't combat that. So when I answer this, I can only answer from my perspective. Right. I don't even like this. I got a person on here with a whole show, and I can't even say her show name because I don't like the word, because I don't like the tones of it. I don't like the tones of it. When you start using that, you start
looking in. When you're saying from the outside looking in, that's precisely the point. Yeah. That wasn't supposed to be a public soundbite. Right. Like, that was two teammates talking to each other.
That's on media.
Somebody just so happened to capture it.
Yeah.
Like, had anybody said, hey, what, like, have they done an interview with Trayvon Diggs after that? And they didn't get the sound. And they said, no, hold on. If that sound had never come out, and they interviewed Trayvon Diggs after that and said, hey, what'd you say to Dak after that interception? Or after you broke up that play or whatever? Like, Trayvon would not have said, oh yeah, I told him to shut his bitch ass up. That's not what he would have said, because when he's talking to the public, he's going to be more considerate of the public's perception. That moment was between two teammates, and they did not know it was going to go public. So when you're saying from the outside looking in, by the very nature of being on the outside looking in, it's already out of context by the time you give your opinion.
Right.
And to be honest, if going by what you just said, if they would have asked him that, he probably wouldn't even know what the hell they were talking about. Because when you're in the moment of the game, you say anything. You don't know if you're being recorded. The only way they probably know they were recorded because it exploded for some reason. But let me ask y'all this, man. Because I see a lot of Eagle fans, they talking about, Hurts, when the players would never do that to Hurts. Bruh, I first of all, y'all don't see the practice. Y'all don't have sound bites. You don't know what they saying. Because if I'm a fan of the game, I would want my quarterback to get that type of harsh, stuff coming from my defense.
I want to see him respond, though, Cole.
And that's what I'm glad you said that, because I'm glad you said it.
I didn't see a response.
Right after that,
From what I seen,
right
all I
after
seen
that
was throw the
comment-
ball on the ground and run away. That's all I
Right
seen.
after that
Once again,
comment,
the response is not for us.
yeah, and right after that comment, he produced
He
that
scored.
on the
I seen
field.
the score.
He
He
produced
ran the
it on
ball
field.
again.
Let
He
Don
produced it on
talk.
the field. He played the next play. They scored a touchdown. So what are we talking about, man?
Can I tell y'all the routine?
Yeah.
Can I tell y'all the routine? Almost every practice, Dak and Trayvon link up before practice on the field, in front of the fans, arm in arm. You see them talking mess. Who starts it?
Dak.
Dakota Prescott. Then, when he does something good against Trayvon, he goes, gets all in Trayvon's face. Tell me what man in a real heated discussion or argument on the street would have another man that is not your friend come point his finger in your face or clap in your face that you won't do all these things you say you would do. Like, that's the thing. They go back and forth. Like, y'all didn't see in that specific clip, which cut short, of the lack of what Dak did, when y'all haven't seen the number of times, even within that same day, where Dak is in Trayvon's face. Dak is starting the mess talk himself. Dak is attacking him because Trayvon is also chirping. Like, this is what they do. They've been doing it for 3 years now. So that's why for us, Cowboys Nation, again, that's why context matters in all of this stuff. And BLS is right. Like, what are we talking about here? So all I gotta say is this: yes, as a man, you just ain't gonna come in my face and just say whatever you want to say. But that was 18-year-old Dom. 18-year-old Dom gonna fight.
Yeah.
But since I've been about 21 years old, I'm a little more reserved, wiser, knowing that, fighting ain't gonna prove nothing. In fact, it might, get you in a position where you might get, killed or something. So quick personal story. Been there, done that. Two young cats saying stuff to my wife, and we were, weren't even married yet. I let it slide. 5 minutes later, they done shot somebody around the corner in Chicago. Like, but you want me to now go talk mess? Yeah, I didn't have nothing on me. I wasn't strapped up. I'm in Illinois. I'm a Texas boy. So it's like, man, any young men watching us that really want to learn about life, when somebody talking mess, let that stuff go. Like, don't try to be hard. And these guys are teammates. I'm gonna bring it back, be a little lighter. They're teammates. They respect each other, love each other. We know what it is. People talk.
But
and
Dom,
again,
like dudes say right here, 803, right? We didn't know what your boy said. What was his name? That got punched, Poole, right? We didn't know the context of what he said, but it looked crazy when you seen him get punched. That's what we saying. We don't know what happened leading up to it. That could have been killing that man all day.
But you got
all we heard was 3 words.
Draymond
Shut
crazy.
your bitch ass up. And that was it.
Draymond cray. And Draymond cut from a different cloth.
Yeah.
Even though he is a leader of that team, like, you got to know how far to take it with certain people. And
You
so,
think he would have did stuff like that?
who, Dre?
Yeah.
No, because Steph is a different guy cut from a different cloth.
And that's exactly
And then
the
Steph
point.
ain't
I'm
gonna-
gonna say this, and then I gotta go.
Yeah,
Dak
we
literally did an interview recently where they asked him about how he motivates his teammates, and he said some people respond well to being talked to crazy on the field, like immediately after something happens, whereas some people need to be pulled off to the side, have a more calm conversation with them, and some people it's like don't even talk to them during practice. You got to kind of wait until things cool off. But he basically described like, yeah, there are different players on my team who I have to adjust my communication style with based on what works for them. So Dak has actually taken the time to figure out how to motivate his teammates and how to be the best leader in each given situation.
Right.
So it sounds like to me, whatever is going on with him and Trayvon, that's just what he has figured out has worked works for Trayvon, and that's what their relationship is. And I don't see any concern. On top of that, I don't see any need to take it beyond that, because it's not like we've seen any other evidence of the team disrespecting Dak. It's not like we've seen any other evidence of this being true, but we have seen a lot of evidence to the contrary. And that's the most frustrating thing about it. Maybe we don't know what happened right before or right after that, but it's like, if we're going to talk about it, how about we talk about all the evidence to the contrary and the fact that there's no evidence supporting this idea that there's beef between Diggs and Dak? Literally none. Not even their own words, no tweets, nothing. But there's so much evidence pointing to, hey, these two dudes love each other, they're friends, and they respect each other. But on that note, I'm going to let y'all talk about it. I got to run.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get this thing up. Hey, everybody, sub up to my girl. Hey, her podcast is Bitches Love Sports this week.
Go to bitcheslovesports.com.
And bitcheslovesports.com. Thank you for coming on. But we're gonna go ahead and end on this, man. I appreciate y'all coming on this platform last minute. Hey, go ahead and tell the people that's still in the chat where they can find you. Plug your channels, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Locke.
Oh, you wanna go?
No, you good. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Well, y'all definitely can find me at Diamond Crew Sports Podcast on YouTube. Just put it in your search bar. It's going to definitely come up. If you want to check out my website, please check out my website, www.diamond/sound/production.com for all your audio and visual needs. Make sure y'all tap in, you know what I mean? Because we're giving out great deals, especially for first-time purchasers. We definitely got the real deal coming to you. Also, I have a YouTube channel called Diamond Crew. Please sub up to that one as well. That's more like a variety channel. And look, just make sure you keep tapping in with Hotter, man. And you follow me, I'm going to follow back. And I'm definitely going to talk with you.
So,
yeah, nice, man. I'm definitely gotta follow you.
Dom W. White,
I gotta definitely follow you. Yeah. That's my Twitter handle at Dom W. White. But this is the first full season I'll be with the fellas over at Pick Six Sports Media. So we have our YouTube channel, so you can search that. So you see it at the bottom left here. But yeah, I'm like, again, whenever it comes to this upcoming season, I'm big into college sports too. So I'm watching all of the football games that I can digest, breaking down film. So I'm draft guy, but I'm not just exclusively looking at players for the Cowboys. This is just overall draft. Like I threw your boy out there earlier, Brown, the safety. That was one of my favorites, and y'all end up getting him. So I could tell you a whole lot of things about a player right there on your squad that wasn't, a consensus type guy in the first round. So yeah, follow me throughout the season, dropping, draft prospects. I'm already about 60 players deep for the 2024 draft. That's if they declare, because there's some of those juniors that, have the eligibility still remaining for another year, but they may be early declarations. Yeah, at Dom W. White, Pick Six Sports.
Definitely going to follow. Definitely.
You can catch me on YouTube, 4133 The Pod. And anytime the Eagles got something going on, I got something going on. You can find me on Twitter, SmittyEagle373. And man, that's pretty much it, man. I just be chilling and cooling and relaxing, man. I'm looking to grow the channel. So whatever, if you got suggestions, you got some criticism, don't come to my inbox with the bull, because you see me tonight. I will turn up. I'm very cordial until you hit the button. Very cordial, man. Don will tell you, man. I'm probably the most real one you can find out here, man. On this side.
Yeah,
this side. It's a few of us. It's not many. Some of them start to reach and start to look for other things, but it's all right. And yeah, Stu, I'm sorry. It got a little. You seen the panel? It was 5 of us up here.
Yeah, man.
All this shit would have been crazy. Next time I got to make sure my boy Hotter actually get into the conversation, because I started taking over because I was hot.
Yeah, you was going ham. That's good.
But hey man, look, y'all hit his likes, man, so y'all can tell brother come back, man, because he ain't been, he new to the game with his live stream side. Man.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to get bro in here, man. It got a little heated, man. So
we're gonna do a call-in show. We're gonna coordinate a call-in show. Yeah. Today was supposed to be it, but we had edited in, content, new content creators on the show. But we definitely gonna make one, because I'm calling.
Hey, what Smoke said at the bottom?
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh yeah.
He said
yeah.
on real.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Cole, you really done infested my lives. I can't even go live with Eagle fans no more without your side of the damn jumping over the fence.
Hey, that's how it works.
They be all in the content. I be like,
They be-
man,
they be
where
on
the
my
Cowboys
side, too.
came from?
They be on my side too. It's all good. It ain't nothing but love. Hey, that's all we need, especially when this season starts. Because me and you about to do these live stream games. These lives, man. We got to see who gonna have to eat crow. One of us gonna have
Hey,
to
so
eat
look,
crow, man.
y'all two down there. Y'all can go ahead, go to your schedule, and go to the two games the Cowboys and Eagles play, and y'all gonna be here for them 4 hours with us.
Oh, definitely.
That's gonna be
We
good,
tapped
man.
in.
Yeah,
We
one of us.
tapped in.
That's 2 games for sure. Both of y'all boys for sure. We ain't even got. I mean, I ain't got to go find nobody. I ain't got to go do a whole bunch of work.
Well, I'm gonna be at the game on
Oh, you going to one of the
10th.
Dallas games?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna be a few games myself.
I'm pretty sure Don going to probably one of the Eagles
Oh,
games.
you know it. I'm trying to actually go to the link.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Y'all talking about we scared?
I ain't scared to go there.
Nah, I don't think y'all should be scared. I don't think we're
ain't
that
scared.
bad of a fan base.
like that.
The only people that are scared is San Fran. That's the only one. They don't want to go to AT&T Stadium or the Link. They don't want to go to neither one. They don't want to go down to Jerry World or come to our house. So
Yeah.
they say we beat women and children at the Link. I don't even understand that.
Y'all all talk, no bite.
Nah, man, we gonna talk. Listen, you can't go on TV for a whole week leading up to the game, talk crazy, then come to Philly, put disgrace on Rocky, start calling him Brocky,
Yeah, just
and then
change
think
it
you
to
ain't
cities. Just
supposed
whack
to
a
take you
terror
to
on
do
him.
that?
They did
Yeah.
all that.
They put a
Can't do
San
that.
Fran jersey on
I
Rocky,
don't
bro.
think
Whack
Cowboy
on
fans ever messed with Rocky, man, to be real. I haven't seen it.
Can't do
I
that.
might be wrong, but I haven't seen it being vandalized by Cowboy fans.
That's just like, and then y'all like, oh, they were nasty. How do you expect the response to be when y'all out here basically spitting on us?
Yeah.
Rocky is Philly. Philly is right. When you come from San Fran and you put your nasty jersey on our idol,
We're gonna have something to say about that. We don't want that whack apparel on him.
Hey,
We don't want that.
Ash, you super late. Ash, where you was at? I needed you in here. It was a bunch of Dallas fans. They jumped me.
you gotta hit that with Ryan, Miss Ash. We was in 2 hours. We 2 hours straight
me.
now.
Oh, damn.
Dom and Hotter didn't let them jump me too bad. They was in the comments trying to jump me.
Nah, see, if it would have been a call-in show and we had Stu in here, our blood pressure would have been up. So
I think I'd have left. For a minute. I had to go take a break. I had to go backstage for a minute. Stu went ham. When I seen Stu comment, he said, "Drop the link. Let me in now, Smitty." I was like, "Oh no, Stu. You
hey, it is what it is." But
Stu done had 22 Coronas and 3 blunts, and he ready to go.
He lit up.
Hey,
Lit
man,
up.
so go ahead and end it on this. No, I guess the whole Hall of Fame game over with. Huh?
It's over with?
Who
I don't
won?
know. I haven't been following it, but hey, I'm gonna
have to go back and watch a little bit of that tape, man. I want to see what the boys look like.
See what they're about.
Hold on, I don't play neither one of these teams, right? Jets. But the team that we seen on the TV, I ain't gonna play. The team that's sitting at home getting massages right now is the ones,
Yeah.
But y'all opened up with joint practice with the Browns, so
Yeah. Well, no. Our first 2 practices the Colts.
Yeah, we got the Colts and the Browns.
14th and the 15th is the Colts, and then we go the 22nd with the Browns.
Okay.
So Shane Steichen will be in Philly for 2 days.
Okay, that's what's up. That's interesting.
But the game, see, this was funny. The practice is in Philly, but the game is in Indy.
So y'all got to fly to Indy.
Yeah.
That's weird. I've seen a lot of people like that. Like the joint practice between the Commanders and the Ravens is at the Ravens. The game is at the Ravens, but the practice is in DC. So I don't know if they're trying to like even it out so like one team can go down and practice and then the other team got to travel. Maybe they even it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows, man? But
that might be something new to NFL trying out. We're gonna let you joint practice at your house, but you're gonna have to play at their house.
Let's see.
We'll see. You know they sneak shit in. You know how they do. They don't even tell you about it. Like, hey, hold on. One question before we leave. Did anybody confirm the handoff rule? Is it in effect or is it bull?
He said on 19 blunts and 2 bottles.
Oh man, see, I told you. Dom, you seem
ready,
more
man.
connected. Is that handoff rule effective, and what does it affect?
You know, we literally prepared a question to ask, like a host of questions to ask, and that's one that it was on the chopping block. We had to leave it on the chopping block because you know you only get so many opportunities, and then when you get those opportunities, you got the one question. So we asked McCarthy a question, Dan Quinn, the DC a question, all the way down through the assistants. That we didn't get to that, and then just talking amongst the media guys, everybody is still same thing. Like, oh yeah, and then you go to the rule book, and it's always showing you about the proposal, but it never talks about like what
If it was
actually
approved.
went through. But it sounds like if I were to like put a percentage to it, it's almost like, you know, probably 80% balancing towards the side of it went through, but I can't just quite find that 100% proof that it did. But if it did,
Oh, you
man,
know what the rule is, right? You heard about it, right? Because you
Yeah.
look confused. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a change where like it's more exclusive behind the line with the handoffs. So is it trying to like alleviate some of the RPO?
So basically the layman's like explanation of it is the handoff has to be to the side of the quarterback or behind him. So yes, any of those plays where like let's say you got the jet sweep action and the quarterback hands it off, that's a penalty. You got to do the little pop pass, like get it out your hands. Some of those plays where the quarterback is just riding the running back, and if the running back ends up in front of him, he gives it, and the running back takes it, and he's in front of him, that's a penalty. You literally have to hand it off to the side, directly to the side, or have the ball behind the quarterback.
So it won't.
I don't like that rule. I
Okay,
don't
look,
like that.
Hada. So what I'm getting from y'all, tell me if I'm wrong. The RPO would no longer be a moving motion. It'll be more of a stationary type of deal where you're like the running back is standing still and you're looking.
Yep.
That'll be pointless though.
Yeah.
It kind of be pointless.
Yep.
Because the purpose is to try to carry the defense with the ball.
With the fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So now you kind of kill the game because if it's a play action and you do the little fake and he go in front of you, you automatically know he ain't got the ball. We going back in coverage.
Well, that's the thing too, Smitty, though.
It's a brief second.
It's been shown. I'll just say that about like play action. It don't even matter if you running the ball good or not. That action is already enough to cause, you know, linebackers to come up. And so, but no, it's from their perception, it's hard to see where the handoff is coming from. So that really won't be impacted. But yeah, the RPO, man.
It'll be stationary. It'll be no movement.
It's gonna be a big change.
Everybody else will be moving, but the quarterback and the running back.
Yeah.
It's gonna take away a lot from what Jalen do, you know, in that RPO game.
But
if it's true, that would explain why we're doing so much passing.
That's what I was about to say.
In the offseason.
That's what I'm about to
that
say.
would explain it. So if it's real,
yeah, that's your point anyway, is you don't really want them running much. But, you know, just having that action is like a play action in a sense. So you got that fear factor with Hurts. I mean, because he's probably arguably, you know, him and Fields, the most athletic quarterbacks in the league right now.
Dang, that's why we should have watched the Hall of Fame game. Don't they initiate all the new rules and stuff and tell you at the beginning?
That's when they do it. They try out a lot of stuff in the Hall of Fame.
They tell you at the beginning like all the new rules they implemented in this game from that weren't last season that they trying out. Then I should have looked.
Yeah, they should have took away that tush push too. Yeah,
the what?
That tush push. That rugby football y'all be playing. That's what
y'all had an opportunity to vote it out and y'all voted it in. That's not my problem.
Possible.
Nobody game. Like a lot of teams cried about it, but none of the teams even made a proposal, so they didn't even vote on it.
Maybe they just want to go ahead and beat it. You know,
I thought they did make a proposal, Don, to take it out.
No team officially actually.
So the league just said it, like we're not going against it. Somebody just complained, and they were just like, "We're not doing nothing."
No, if you don't submit the proposal, they don't even take action. So all the fan bases who were upset that y'all were, you know, near down perfect at doing it. Nothing was submitted to the competition committee.
I can see why. The owners they want their coaches to beat it. They're like, "Nah, we ain't gonna punk out."
Well, they want them to use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna probably be different variations of that play now.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, y'all remember when Miami brought out the Wildcat? How crazy people thought they was.
Right.
Now think about around the league right now. Last year, whatever. How many teams initiated something like a
lot of teams
Wildcat
will try it too. That's a lot of teams may try it.
Yeah, it's like a little tryout. Like, oh, it didn't work for us. All right, it ain't our thing. Ronnie Brown killed that.
Yeah, people gonna try that. They're gonna try to touch push too.
Didn't they try to take that out of the league at one time, Dom? If I'm not mistaken.
Belichick.
I thought so. He did put a proposal in for it.
Oh yeah, he hated it, and then went with it.
I'm saying. You can't beat it, join it.
Yeah.
You know?
Then he went and got who was his first one? It wasn't West, was it?
No.
I remember he did a lot of it with El Mendola and Edelman.
I think
who was the first one he started doing with it? It was West?
Was it
West? I think it was with West Welker.
I can't remember. I know whoever it was, the second time the second dude was a quarterback. So I know the second one was Julian Edelman because he was a quarterback. But I can't remember who the first one he tried it with, and I remember it too. He did it, and then everybody was like, "You talking about it like that, and you gonna run it in the game?" I mean, shit, they wouldn't let me take it out of the game, so I'm gonna try.
I can use it.
Taysom Hill, that's another basically Wildcat guy.
True.
He sucked at passing that rock.
Man,
he can catch it too.
I gave him that money, man.
Listen. I know this on live, right? I know everybody gonna kick, but that's what I thought we got Jalen for.
The Wildcat.
I really thought I thought he was Taysom Hill. I thought he was gonna come in and do everything for us, bro. I thought he was gonna be part of the run game. I thought he was gonna be part of the pass game. You know, little trick plays here and there where he stretched out wide. He come in motion, get the ball, deep pass, and then he became the quarterback. I was just like, whoa.
So shout out to coaching staff because he right where he should be. Right where he should be. Shout out to them, man.
I got evidence. I got the proof. I got the proof that I was high on Hurts. Whenever y'all got him in that second round, I was sick.
I thought that because Falcons should have got him.
Because he's a Texas kid, he's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the grind that he went through, whenever they, stripped him out, put Tua in, like he's still being, the ultimate professional. Even as early as that, he's showing, that those leadership skills, being happy for his guy, his team, and it was genuine. Like he wasn't even putting on the show. Then he goes to Oklahoma, he gets better, he does his thing. And so I'm like, man, the whole time I was like, he'd be a perfect backup for Dak, like similar skill set, but probably more athletic. Post leg injury, Dak, like that San Francisco game he was running. I was like, oh God, Dak. No, I'm it's gone. It's gone.
Hook the trailer, Dak.
They got him in some read option plays. They bringing those back. He been running a lot in practice.
Yeah,
but he actually not bad in read option. If you look at his he's actually not bad in read option.
That was the skill in Mississippi State with Brian Johnson.
Right.
Exactly. He just don't got that athleticism like he did in college since that injury. But,
what was the actual injury? I can't. Was it a patella too?
He broke his leg.
Who, Dak?
I thought he broke the patella and all that at once.
The ankle area. He broke. Yeah,
the ankle. It was his ankle area.
It was gruesome.
Yeah, right above the ankle.
Yeah. But he ain't been the same running after that.
Yeah.
He ain't about to get too much running.
I think he mentally don't want to run. I think he mentally had to get out of his head that hey, I can't run and not get hurt. Because wasn't it the injury was on a run play, right?
It was on a run play. Yep.
It was on a run play. Yeah, it was just a free tackle, like a
it was a freak accident. That was horrible, man.
Like that, like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
That was a freak accident.
Just gruesome. It's hard to watch.
No, I'm saying freak accident. Like you don't see that much.
Like a freak accident. Yeah, that's crazy.
I think somebody said they ain't seen a Smith like that for Alex, like an Alex Smith injury since old boy got hit by LT.
Yeah.
That was the last time somebody had that same injury.
That ended his career. Medicine wasn't out there like that back then.
Right.
Imagine if the technology we have now was in the NFL in the 90s and 80s and shit.
Don't name it, would have played long.
or like Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson would have been nasty because I bet you that injury he had is simple.
No.
Why not?
It was the hip.
That's what I'm saying. But they said
hard to come back from.
Hip, even now, hip injuries. You get that.
he had an okay. I'll say he had an opportunity
Yeah.
Look at
more
Loud
than he had then.
Yeah.
He would have probably. Yeah. That would have been
At least
a better
played. He
opportunity.
might not have been the same guy, but he at least would have been able to get back on the field again.
Right, 80% him is better than
Is 90% of the league right now. you give me Bo Jackson right now 80%. Well,
dang.
Hey, look, I heard my boy Holler say he don't call Super Bowls, but you give me Bo Jackson at 80% right now behind this offensive line. I'm going to get a Super Bowl 58 jersey made right now.
I had that in Derrick Henry. Y'all, I heard the noise about Derrick Henry. That would have been y'all.
If we'd have got him, look, I probably had to call it then. I'd have had to call it then. That's hard to call, dude. That's hard. I just don't do that.
Well, listen. Y'all want to know some real stuff? Derrick Henry have been horrible for us.
Why you say that?
Man.
Look at it. Go look at his stats in RPO.
But y'all offensive line?
He only averaging like 2.9, 3 yards a carry in RPO. Then you put him in that power O, he averaging like 5 and some change.
You put Derrick Henry behind this line of scrimmage. Oh,
we
man,
got power O though. We would have had a power O.
1,600 yards.
Power O and screens. That would have been his game for us. We'd have had to have a Swift.
But when you got a player like Derrick Henry, you got to adjust to his skill set. You have to.
Would you want to adjust our team to his skill set or him adjust to us?
Yeah,
I want to adjust to his skill set and at the same time do both. Make it work.
Y'all do better even historically with more of a
agile back,
shiftier guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We tried it once. Remember he came from Dallas. The one we tried that wasn't
we
shifty.
had the Thunder, when we won a Super Bowl, so you got to think about that as well.
Hey, Hotter, we tried to get a power back and make him the stable one time. He came from Dallas. You remember what happened to him?
Oh, that was horrible, dude. Behind that, but that was when Dallas had a really good offensive line back then.
Speaking of that guy,
messed that up for y'all.
Oh, Pro Fan Talk. I knew exactly who it was. You didn't even have to say his name. Because you know what? We got bamboozled.
We did.
Because he went to the Titans and turned up. He came and stole our money.
Yeah, he did.
He was like, "Oh, the Eagles want me. All right, I'm gonna go steal their money."
Our offensive line wasn't that good. Our offensive line wasn't that good when he came, so that was another thing as well. He came from a really good offensive line.
Listen, hold on. The year before that, what did Shady do?
Oh, Shady went off.
Shady set the record for Philadelphia Eagles football, and it still ain't been broke. So our offensive line wasn't that bad. He was
a different style running back. Shady was also a different style running back than DeMarco Murray.
That's what I'm agreeing with Dom. Like we should have stayed in that type of realm with Chip Kelly. You want a power back? Like
not
Chip Kelly had to be
not the way he run his offense. Hell no.
He was supposed to go get LT or somebody to run his offense, man.
Yeah.
You go get DeMarco Murray, who ain't good in the screen game, and he's a power O guy. And you don't have a power O offensive line. You got one of those lines that's just moving fast. And you got 3 seconds to get the ball out, or your quarterback getting killed. And we've seen that in the last season of Chip Kelly, where all the quarterbacks was getting murdered.
What's funny is
that's on DeMarco Murray for one to choose the bag over coming back to Dallas.
Right. He had an opportunity. He really had an opportunity to come back. I thought I heard y'all never offered him a deal. That's why he chose us. He
should have did something. I think he wanted the bag.
Probably did, because we paid him pretty decently. We got robbed pretty decently.
It was time for him to get paid, and Jerry didn't want to pay him.
We gave him the foot with the toenails and everything on it.
Hey Cole, you know what Nate Newton, for y'all who don't know Nate Newton, that's Super Bowl winning guard for Dallas back in the 90s. Yeah, I know Nate Newton. You remember what Nate Newton called DeMarco Murray?
Because he bad with names. What do you call him?
He called him house shoes. He was like, he looked like he running, he had the white tape and the white socks and the white shoes. He looked like he running the house shoes out there.
Marco Murray was good for us for them couple of years, man.
He never picked up them knees, man. He was
never did. He was
scooting like he was in, house shoes. Have to keep them shoes on.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what happened when he got to us, though, man. It was horrible.
Then he went over there to be the bridge back for Henry, and he looked like gold. Listen, they drafted Henry and got DeMarco Murray thinking he was gonna be able to just transition in, and DeMarco Murray go for what, 1,400 yards?
Yep. He lost it. He lost.
And Derrick Henry still went for like 600-700 yards.
Mhm.
And to be real, we ran him to the ground like we did Zeke.
Yeah.
Is Zeke gonna sign back with y'all? Y'all bringing him back?
You might as
I
well.
need to know.
I don't think he is.
Might as well.
I love
think
He,
Zeke.
he was just with the Patriots, right?
Oh, Dom said I love him, but that means he don't want him back.
Yeah.
Man, he done sold so many 21 jerseys.
Where does he go though? Okay. Look, before we end, where's the best fit right now in everybody's mind for Zeke?
I thought it was the Patriots.
For him,
The Patriots ain't
Yeah.
made nothing for him, though.
for him, it's the return back to Dallas.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
for Dallas, it's time just to move on. But really, shoot, y'all.
Yo, what?
At least Zeke reliable. He stay on the field.
No,
He-
we
you
not.
know,
We're not picking up. I'm a good.
I actually, Hada,
no.
that was actually my answer.
it's y'all.
To the
Without
Eagles?
listen. If it wasn't for like before Penny, you can go look at my video. I got a video out. Before Penny, I wanted him.
No.
His short yardage is crazy. Zeke's short yardage and pass blocking is crazy, bro.
Them
Like,
ladies
I
is
can't-
done, dog.
Like I hate that he was a
I
Dallas
don't know,
Cowboy.
man. Zeke can still got it in him a little bit. He can
Okay.
still
Listen,
make
I hate that he was a Dallas
All right.
Cowboy because the Eagle fans hate him so much, so they'll never hear me out. But if he played for any other team right now, people would be okay with him coming in.
Yeah, I can
He
see
is
him
the
being
best
a-
pass blocking running back in the league.
I give you that. He is a real good pass blocker. He is a
And
real
he
good
He
pass
can still
blocker.
run. He can still run. He can still
He
run.
got.
Okay.
You got
I mean,
to hold on, Hada. You got to think.
He don't
You
have
just
the
said
burst.
we got the best offensive line now. You put him behind it.
He don't
I
have
like
the burst,
I
but he
like
can
what we
still-
have at running back right now. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with what we got. I don't want
Yeah,
Zeke. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with it now, but I'm saying like before we got Rashad Penny, I was high on him. But
Yeah.
right now, if I was to take him somewhere, the Jets.
Well, they got Brees Hall. They're already stacked over there.
Brees
Brees
Hall,
Hall isn't a power back though.
the Jets don't
They
have
need it. You Brees Hall is injury prone too. Put Zeke in. You know he's reliable, and you struggling at left guard right now. You can use Zeke as a pass blocker. Brees Hall don't have great pass blocking. You can put Zeke in and protect Aaron Rodgers. Listen, what most people forget to do is to protect the back. Aaron Rodgers on his back is no good to you. I would bring Zeke in as a pass blocker. Help him out. He need that because right now they were supposed to draft. Who was the left tackle? They're supposed to draft Dom. And the Patriots end up letting somebody trade in front of them to take the tackle.
Ooh, I can't remember.
Dang, the Jets had a tackle in the draft this year though. And he was falling to them and like so preciously, and then Bill Belichick just an asshole. He's we don't need him, so we're gonna let somebody else get him. So I think he can come in and really help that. But that I say Jets. What you say, Haba?
I already said I think Patriots is cool, but I know y'all said he ain't gonna go there. But
I don't think he going. I don't think the Patriots.
He gotta go
They
somewhere.
like that
though.
type of back though.
Huh?
Bill does like that type of
Yeah,
guy.
he definitely let that type of back.
He like that type of back.
He gonna need somebody to protect
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, yeah.
Yep.
How did they get? Listen, tell me how they got rid of their first round pick though. I thought Nikhil was decent.
They do.
But he only had Don. What he had? He had 1 year with Mac, right?
Harry. Yeah, just the one. Harry.
That's what I was saying. Not saying I thought he was. I didn't see him last year, but I thought him could make a bond.
No, Harry ain't it.
Well, he finna go out here and figure it out with Jimmy G.
He never could separate. That was always his issue
problem.
going back to Arizona State. It's like you like the size, the physicality, but when you put him in the NFL, will he be able to separate against even like league average cornerbacks? And thus far, he just has proven that he
can't do it.
No, he just can't.
And now he got Jimmy G. It ain't gonna get no better.
Yeah, when you start your career off like he started his career off, guys don't make a rebound. Like there, I don't even know of any exceptions to the rule. So the dude's got like maybe 600-700 yards in a 4-year career total. Like, and he can't stay healthy himself. And he's often in a doghouse, but of course, a lot of people put in Bill's doghouse. Yeah, it wasn't good for him last year either.
Yeah.
Well, You know, I appreciate y'all for coming out, man. It's been another episode of When Enemies Clash.
It's fire.
I hope everybody in this room get to sweep the AFC East. That's what I'm gonna say to finish it off. I hope we sweep the AFC East.
Please.
I hope we sweep them all. The whole AFC East.
I want y'all to lose every last one.
I
We
do.
ain't losing.
Yeah,
You know why I want you to sweep them? So when we get ready to play, it ain't no. I want to hear that last year, like, oh, y'all played the Green Bay, we beat Green Bay. Y'all played the Jaguars, and we beat the Jaguars. No, I want y'all to beat everybody we beat. Everybody we beat. I want no excuses. And then I want you in the NFC Championship game so I can send you home sad. And then
That's my goal. I would
listen,
love to see that. I want to see
That's-
Cowboys
if I
in it.
could,
y'all better
Dom,
hope
if I could paint a picture, right? I would see y'all in the NFC Championship, and then I would go beat the Bills so I can get them their extra L because they ain't got one from me yet.
They about to get one.
You better hope. You better
Hold on. I'm talking about in the Super Bowl. We the only NFC
yeah.
East team that didn't get them a L in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys got 2, the Giants got 1, and the Commanders got 1. I need to get my 1, so I need them to get there.
That will be
So we be 0-5 against the NFC East. Make it look good. Then we ain't look harder. Once we do that, then the Cowboys won't talk trash to us no more because we had 2 Super Bowls and we beat the Bills. They won't say no more.
I still gotta get
They
more.
still gonna talk trash. Until we get more than them, they gonna still talk trash.
It'll be lighter though. It'll be lighter though.
They hang on to them things tight.
Y'all gotta get 6.
Them Commanders fans still talking mess to y'all.
We ain't worried